where you can qualify to compete for your chance at a piece of the $30 million prize pool. But how will these work, you ask? Each week will alternate back and forth between solos and duos competition, with players qualifying from each server region in Oceania, Asia, Europe, Brazil, NA East, and NA West. To find specifics for your server region, go to Fortnite.com/World Cup. To play in the online opens, you'll need to compete in the new Arena mode, an always-on form of competition where players can rank up tiers and leagues. It all starts in the Open League, and when players earn 125 points, they'll advance into Contenders League. After that, you'll need to build your way up to 300 points to unlock Champion League, where the Saturday Online Open players will be chosen. Then, we'll take the top 3,000 solo players or 1,500 duos from that Saturday's semifinals and advance them to the Sunday finals. Each Sunday, 20 players will rise to the top and qualify to join us in New York for the Fortnite World Cup Finals. Buckle up, because we're officially on the road to the Fortnite World Cup Finals. In just a few months, we'll see the greatest Fortnite players in the world go head-to-head to determine who will take the title of World Cup champion and become part of the global phenomenon that is Fortnite. Hundreds of players will compete on stage in New York City for their chance at ultimate battle royale glory and their piece of $30 million. But let's look back at how we got here. The competition was hot at our first major live event at PAX West, where we held the Summer Skirmish finale. This open format pitted over 900 players against each other, and Morgassi was able to rise out of the masses and take home nearly $250,000.
A life-changing amount of money.
Fall Skirmish came next, where 500 players competed not only in Battle Royale competitions, but build-offs, challenges, bake-offs, and cosplay competitions to win prizes and value club points. This all came to an insane conclusion at TwitchCon, where Tfue and Cloakzy were able to fend off the competition and win it all.
It's Tfue and Cloakzy!
Finishing off the year, we dove into the Winter Royale when the first ever open online qualifier was hosted, featuring the top 200 players from North America and Europe. In the end, the stream Skype dominated the European qualifier, semifinal, and final to come out on top. And on NA, Nolan beasted his way through the rounds, outperformed the Infinity Blade, and took home the crown. 2019 kicked off with the Secret Skirmish, where Ghost Saf and Rise Ronaldo took the top spot in duos, and the solos competition ended with an unbelievable performance from Ghost Bizzle, who took it all with the most clutch Fortnite finish in competitive history.
Skating around, shot comes in, a limb for Bizzle, turns on the player above. That's it! He deagled the floor! Bizzle with the victory!
But this unbelievable action isn't limited to offline events. We've watched competitors get themselves ready for the Fortnite World Cup through their participation in the online tournaments. Fully open qualifiers for all players 13 and up has definitely shaken up the standard. Starting with the Scallywag Cup, familiar players like Saf and Zayt are continuously flaunting their skills, and we also saw new faces like WBG's Rux and Pika. But the veterans and big names aren't backing down, with players new and old challenging each other non-stop for the top spot. Beehive was a prime example of this in the European Blackheart Cup, continuing his absurdly consistent streak of dominating open competitions, while the Argentinian Dzeko was able to show off his elimination skills in a dominant Brazil region victory. After that, we saw two duo competitions, the Lux Cup and the World Cup warm-up, with a fantastic mix of challengers and established veterans able to claw their way up the leaderboard. The newly formed duo of Perfect Tilt and Mastoris have shown that they are not to be messed with, while the newly eligible European youngsters like Mongrel, Benji Fishy, Osmo, and Milan showing that they are as good as everyone believed. But let's not forget about Oceania and Asia, where we've seen the Chiefs duo of Sync and Skyla continually upsetting the standard and dominating the ladder. And Medicino, Top Fax Fox, and the Crazy Raccoon Boys have all had incredible performances over in the East. We've seen so many different players come to the fore, but nothing on the scale like this. Who will be the next Margassi? Will a Tfue or Cloak-like pair continue their domination? Will our winners be someone who qualifies early? Or will they have to sweat it out every weekend to make it onto the World Cup final stage? We could not be more excited to see this story unfold and to watch these players ascend to greatness. And who knows, one of them could be you.
I didn't start off the qualifier too great. It was like the late games where in my last game alone, I went from 54 to 65. So every game matters. I'm just glad that I qualified the first week of solos, and I guess my practice paid off.
Yeah, I've never really been like, oh my God, what could this turn into? No, I kind of just like live it day by day, and I enjoy every single moment that I can. It's absolutely enjoyable. To come into like the World Cup, which is basically the most competitive event so far, you know, you have everybody around the world, everybody's allowed to compete, and then just come out of the gates and qualify for the first week is just absolutely amazing. Like,
it's a special sensation. I want to be the best player. I want to be better than all people and progress in myself. I need to play more aggressive and more play the high ground.
So far I'm the only Finnish person, and it feels awesome. Like I can maybe give the best representation for Finland. I don't know if they actually understand how big this is, but after the news, all of them have been like congratulating me, and it's a huge influx of like new support, and it's overwhelming.
I have a few close friends, and you know, they're just blown away. What is this? Like, this is what you've been doing? And you know, thankfully they're very supportive. I think we have a really good roster. We picked up some really good players. You know, I think I put out a good first impression.
there's just random moments throughout my day where I'm just like, oh my God, I actually qualified. Like, I'm going to the World Cup. I'm going to New York City. It's gonna be so fun. I love it.
It's awesome. Thanks, Fortnite.
jump on and drop in. It's time to kick off the Fortnite World Cup competition. From April 13th to June 16th, we'll be running Fortnite World Cup Online Opens, where you can qualify to compete for your chance at a piece of the $30 million prize pool. But how will these work, you ask? Each week we'll alternate back and forth between solos and duos competition, with players qualifying from each server region in Oceania, Asia, Europe, Brazil, NA East, and NA West. To find specifics for your server region, go to Fortnite.com/World Cup. To play in the online opens, you'll need to compete in the new Arena mode, an always-on form of competition where players can rank up tiers and leagues. It all starts in the Open League, and when players earn 125 points, they'll advance into Contenders League. After that, you'll need to build your way up to 300 points to unlock Champion League, where the Saturday online open players will be chosen. Then, we'll take the top 3,000 solo players or 1,500 duos from that Saturday's semifinals and advance them to the Sunday finals. Each Sunday, 20 players will rise to the top and qualify to join us in New York for the Fortnite World Cup Finals. Buckle up, because we're officially on the road to the Fortnite World Cup Finals. In just a few months, we'll see the greatest Fortnite players in the world go head-to-head to determine who will take the title of World Cup champion and become part of the global phenomenon that is Fortnite. Hundreds of players will compete on stage in New York City for their chance at ultimate battle royale glory and their piece of $30 million. But let's look back at how we got here. The competition was hot at our first major live event at PAX West, where we held the Summer Skirmish finale. This open format pitted over 900 players against each other, and Morgassi was able to rise out of the masses and take home nearly $250,000.
A life-changing amount of money.
Fall Skirmish came next, where 500 players competed not only in Battle Royale competitions, but build-offs, challenges, bake-offs, and cosplay competitions to win prizes and value club points. This all came to an insane conclusion at TwitchCon, where Tfue and Cloakzy were able to fend off the competition and win it all.
It's Tfue and Cloakzy!
Finishing off the year, we dove into the Winter Royale when the first ever open online qualifier was hosted, featuring the top 200 players from North America and Europe. In the end, the stream Skype dominated the European qualifier, semifinal, and final to come out on top. And on NA, Nolan beasted his way through the rounds, outperformed the Infinity Blade, and took home the crown. 2019 kicked off with the Secret Skirmish, where Ghost Saf and Rise Ronaldo took the top spot in duos, and the solos competition ended with an unbelievable performance from Ghost Bizzle, who took it all with the most clutch Fortnite finish in competitive history.
Skating around, shot comes in, a limb for Bizzle, turns on the player above. That's it! He deagled the floor! Bizzle with the victory!
But this unbelievable action isn't limited to offline events. We've watched competitors get themselves ready for the Fortnite World Cup through their participation in the online tournaments. Fully open qualifiers for all players 13 and up has definitely shaken up the standard. Starting with the Scallywag Cup, familiar players like Saf and Zayt are continuously flaunting their skills, and we also saw new faces like WBG's Rux and Pika. But the veterans and big names aren't backing down, with players new and old challenging each other non-stop for the top spot. Beehive was a prime example of this in the European Blackheart Cup, continuing his absurdly consistent streak of dominating open competitions, while the Argentinian Dzeko was able to show off his elimination skills in a dominant Brazil region victory. After that, we saw two duo competitions, the Lux Cup and the World Cup warm-up, with a fantastic mix of challengers and established veterans able to claw their way up the leaderboard. The newly formed duo of Perfect Tilt and Mastoris have shown that they are not to be messed with, while the newly eligible European youngsters like Mongrel, Benji Fishy, Osmo, and Milan showing that they are as good as everyone believed. But let's not forget about Oceania and Asia, where we've seen the Chiefs duo of Sync and Skyla continually upsetting the standard and dominating the ladder. And Medicino, Top Fax Fox, and the Crazy Raccoon Boys have all had incredible performances over in the East. We've seen so many different players come to the fore, but nothing on the scale of this. Who will be the next Margassi? Will a Tfue or Cloak-like pair continue their domination? Will our winners be someone who qualifies early, or will they have to sweat it out every weekend to make it onto the World Cup final stage? We could not be more excited to see the story unfold and to watch these players ascend to greatness. And who knows, one of them could be you.
I didn't start off the qualifier too great. It was like the late games where I think I won a game with 6 kills, and then my last game alone I went from 54 to 65, so every game matters. I'm just glad that I qualified the first week of solos, and I guess my practice paid off.
Yeah, I've never really been like, oh my god, what could this turn into? You know, I kind of just like live it day by day, and I enjoy every single moment that I can. It's absolutely enjoyable. To come into like the World Cup, which is basically the most competitive event so far. You know, you have everybody around the world, everybody's allowed to compete, and then to just come out of the gates and qualify for the first week is just absolutely amazing. Like,
it's a special sensation. I want to be the best player. I want to be better than all people and progress in myself. I need to play more aggressive and more play the high ground.
So far I'm the only Finnish person and it feels awesome. Like I can maybe give the best representation for Finland. I don't know if they actually understand how big this is, but after the news, all of them have been like congratulating me, and it's a huge influx of like new support, and it's overwhelming.
I have a few close friends, and they're just blown away. What is this? This is what you've been doing, and thankfully they're very supportive. I think we have a really good roster. We picked up some really good players. I think I put out a good first impression.
There's just random moments throughout my day where I'm just like, oh my god, I actually qualified. Like, I'm going to the World Cup. I'm going to New York City. It's gonna be so fun. I love it.
It's awesome. Thanks, Fortnite.
Jump on and drop in. It's time to kick off the Fortnite World Cup competition. From April 13th to June 16th, we'll be running Fortnite World Cup Online Opens, where you can qualify to compete for your chance at a piece of the $30 million prize pool. But how will these work, you ask? Each week we'll alternate back and forth between solos and duos competition, with players qualifying from each server region in Oceania, Asia, Europe, Brazil, NA East, and NA West. To find specifics for your server region, go to Fortnite.com/World Cup. To play in the online opens, you'll need to compete in the new Arena mode, an always-on form of competition where players can rank up tiers and leagues. It all starts in the Open League, and when players earn 125 points, they'll advance into Contenders League. After that, you'll need to build your way up to 300 points to unlock Champion League, where the Saturday online open players will be chosen. Then, we'll take the top 3,000 solo players or 1,500 duos from that Saturday's semifinals and advance them to the Sunday finals. Each Sunday, 20 players will rise to the top and qualify to join us in New York for the Fortnite World Cup Finals. Buckle up, because we're officially on the road to the Fortnite World Cup Finals. In just a few months, we will see the greatest Fortnite players in the world go head-to-head to determine who will take the title of World Cup champion and become part of the global phenomenon that is Fortnite. Hundreds of players will compete on stage in New York City for their chance at Ultimate Battle Royale glory and their piece of $30 million. But let's look back at how we got here. The competition was hot at our first major live event at PAX West, where we held the Summer Skirmish finale. This open format pitted over 900 players against each other, and Morgassi was able to rise out of the masses and take home nearly $250,000.
A life-changing amount of money.
Fall Skirmish came next, where 500 players competed not only in Battle Royale competitions, but build-offs, challenges, bake-offs, and cosplay competitions to win prizes and value club points. This all came to an insane conclusion at TwitchCon, where Tfue and Cloakzy were able to fend off the competition and win it all.
It's Tfue and Cloakzy!
Finishing off the year, we dove into the Winter Royale when the first ever open online qualifier was hosted, featuring the top 200 players from North America and Europe. In the end, the stream Skype dominated the European qualifier, semifinal, and final to come out on top. And on NA, Nolan beasted his way through the rounds, outperformed the Infinity Blade, and took home the crown. 2019 kicked off with the Secret Skirmish, where Ghost Saf and Rise Ronaldo took the top spot in duos, and the solos competition ended with an unbelievable performance from Ghost Bizzle, who took it all with the most clutch Fortnite finish in competitive history.
Skating around, shot comes in, a limb for Bizzle, turns on the player above. That's it! He deagled the floor! Bizzle with the victory!
But this unbelievable action isn't limited to offline events. We've watched competitors get themselves ready for the Fortnite World Cup through their participation in the online tournaments. Fully open qualifiers for all players 13 and up has definitely shaken up the standard. Starting with the Scallywag Cup, familiar players like Saf and Zayt are continuously flaunting their skills, and we also saw new faces like WBG's Rux and Pika. But the veterans and big names aren't backing down, with players new and old challenging each other non-stop for the top spot. Beehive was a prime example of this in the European Blackheart Cup, continuing his absurdly consistent streak of dominating open competitions, while the Argentinian Dzeko was able to show off his elimination skills in a dominant Brazil region victory. After that, we saw two duo competitions, the Lux Cup and the World Cup warm-up, with a fantastic mix of challengers and established veterans able to claw their way up the leaderboard. The newly formed duo of Perfect Tilt and Mastoris have shown that they are not to be messed with, while the newly eligible European youngsters like Mongrel, Benji Fishy, Osmo, and Milan showing that they are as good as everyone believed. But let's not forget about Oceania and Asia, where we've seen the Chiefs duo of Sync and Skyla continually upsetting the standard and dominating the ladder. And Medicino, top Faxfox, and the Crazy Raccoon Boys have all had incredible performances over in the East. We've seen so many different players come to the fore, but nothing on the scale like this. Who will be the next Margassi? Will a Tfue or Cloak-like pair continue their domination? Will our winners be someone who qualifies early? Or will they have to sweat it out every weekend to make it onto the World Cup final stage? We could not be more excited to see the story unfold and to watch these players ascend to greatness. And who knows, one of them could be you.
I didn't start off the qualifier too great. It was like the late games where I think I won a game with 6 kills, and then my last game alone I went from 54 to 65, so every game matters. I'm just glad that I qualified the first week of solos, and I guess my practice paid off.
Yeah, I've never really been like, oh my god, what could this turn into? You know, I kind of just like live it day by day, and I enjoy every single moment that I can. It's absolutely enjoyable. To come into like the World Cup, which is basically the most competitive event so far. You know, you have everybody around the world, everybody's allowed to compete, and then to just come out of the gates and qualify for the first week is just absolutely amazing. Like,
it's a special sensation. I want to be the best player. I want to be better than all people and progress in myself. I need to play more aggressive and more play the high ground.
So far I'm the only Finnish person and it feels awesome. Like I can maybe give the best representation for Finland. I don't know if they actually understand how big this is, but after the news, all of them have been like congratulating me, and it's a huge influx of like new support, and it's overwhelming.
I have a few close friends, and they're just blown away. What is this? This is what you've been doing, and thankfully they're very supportive. I think we have a really good roster. We picked up some really good players. I think I put out a good first impression.
There's just random moments throughout my day where I'm just like, oh my god, I actually qualified. Like, I'm going to the World Cup. I'm going to New York City. It's gonna be so fun. I love it.
It's awesome. Thanks, Fortnite.
Jump on and drop in. It's time to kick off the Fortnite World Cup competition. From April 13th to June 16th, we'll be running Fortnite World Cup Online Opens, where you can qualify to compete for your chance at a piece of the $30 million prize pool. But how will these work, you ask? Each week we'll alternate back and forth between solos and duos competition, with players qualifying from each server region in Oceania, Asia, Europe, Brazil, NA East, and NA West. To find specifics for your server region, go to Fortnite.com/World Cup. To play in the online opens, you'll need to compete in the new Arena mode, an always-on form of competition where players can rank up tiers and leagues. It all starts in the Open League, and when players earn 125 points, they'll advance into Contenders League. After that, you'll need to build your way up to 300 points to unlock Champion League, where the Saturday Online Open players will be chosen. Then, we'll take the top 3,000 solo players or 1,500 duos from that Saturday's semifinals and advance them to the Sunday finals. Each Sunday, 20 players will rise to the top and qualify to join us in New York for the Fortnite World Cup Finals. Buckle up, because we're officially on the road to the Fortnite World Cup Finals. In just a few months, we'll see the greatest Fortnite players in the world go head-to-head to determine who will take the title of World Cup champion and become part of the global phenomenon that is Fortnite. Hundreds of players will compete on stage in New York City for their chance at Ultimate Battle Royale glory and their piece of $30 million. But let's look back at how we got here. The competition was hot at our first major live event at PAX West, where we held the Summer Skirmish finale. This open format pitted over 900 players against each other, and Morgassi was able to rise out of the masses and take home nearly $250,000.
A life-changing amount of money.
Fall Skirmish came next, where 500 players competed not only in Battle Royale competitions, but build-offs, challenges, bake-offs, and cosplay competitions to win prizes and value club points. This all came to an insane conclusion at TwitchCon, where Tfue and Cloakzy were able to fend off the competition and win it all.
It's Tfue and Cloakzy!
Finishing off the year, we dove into the Winter Royale when the first ever open online qualifier was hosted, featuring the top 200 players from North America and Europe. In the end, the stream Skype dominated the European qualifier, semifinal, and final to come out on top. And on NA, Nolan beasted his way through the rounds, outperformed the Infinity Blade, and took home the crown. 2019 kicked off with the Secret Skirmish, where Ghost Saf and Rise Ronaldo took the top spot in duos, and the solos competition ended with an unbelievable performance from Ghost Bizzle, who took it all with the most clutch Fortnite finish in competitive history.
Around, shot comes in, a limb for Bizzle, turns on the player above. That's it! He deagled the floor! Bizzle with the victory!
But this unbelievable action isn't limited to offline events. We've watched competitors get themselves ready for the Fortnite World Cup through their participation in the online tournaments. Fully open qualifiers for all players 13 and up has definitely shaken up the standard. Starting with the Scallywag Cup, familiar players like Saf and Zayt are continuously flaunting their skills, and we also saw new faces like WBG's Rux and Pika. But the veterans and big names aren't backing down, with players new and old challenging each other non-stop for the top spot. Beehive was a prime example of this in the European Blackheart Cup, continuing his absurdly consistent streak of dominating open competitions, while the Argentinian Dzeko was able to show off his elimination skills in a dominant Brazil region victory. After that, we saw two duo competitions, the Lux Cup and the World Cup warm-up, with a fantastic mix of challengers and established veterans able to claw their way up the leaderboard. The newly formed duo of Perfect Tilt and Mastoris have shown that they are not to be messed with, while the newly eligible European youngsters like Mongro, Benji Fishy, Osmo, and Milan showing that they are as good as everyone believed. But let's not forget about Oceania and Asia, where we've seen the Chiefs duo of Sync and Skyla continually upsetting the standard and dominating the ladder. And Medicino, Top Fox, and the Crazy Raccoon Boys have all had incredible performances over in the East. We've seen so many different players come to the fore, but nothing on the scale like this. Who will be the next Margassi? Will a Tfue or Cloak-like pair continue their domination? Will our winners be someone who qualifies early, or will they have to sweat it out every weekend to make it onto the World Cup final stage? We could not be more excited to see the story unfold and to watch these players ascend to greatness. And who knows, one of them could be you.
I didn't start off the qualifier too great. It was like the late games where I think I won a game with 6 kills, and then my last game alone I went from 54 to 65, so every game matters. I'm just glad that I qualified the first week of solos, and I guess my practice paid off.
Yeah, I've never really been like, oh my god, what could this turn into? No, I kind of just like live it day by day, and I enjoy every single moment that I can. It's absolutely enjoyable. To come into like the World Cup, which is basically the most competitive event so far. You know, you have everybody around the world, everybody's allowed to compete, and then to just come out of the gates and qualify for the first week is just absolutely amazing. Like,
It's a special sensation. I want to be the best player. I want to be better than all people and progress in myself. I need to play more aggressive and more play the high ground.
So far I'm the only Finnish person and it feels awesome. Like I can maybe give the best representation for Finland. I don't know if they actually understand how big this is, but after the news, all of them have been like congratulating me, and it's a huge influx of like new support, and it's overwhelming.
I have a few close friends, and they're just blown away. What is this? This is what you've been doing, and thankfully they're very supportive. I think we have a really good roster. We picked up some really good players. I think I put out a good first impression.
there's just random moments throughout my day where I'm just like, oh my god, I actually qualified. Like, I'm going to the World Cup. I'm going to New York City. It's gonna be so fun. I love it.
It's awesome. Thanks, Fortnite.
Jump on and drop in. It's time to kick off the Fortnite World Cup competition. From April 13th to June 16th, we'll be running Fortnite World Cup Online Opens, where you can qualify to compete for your chance at a piece of the $30 million prize pool. But how will these work, you ask? Each week will alternate back and forth between solos and duos competition, with players qualifying from each server region in Oceania, Asia, Europe, Brazil, NA East, and NA West. To find specifics for your server region, go to Fortnite.com/World Cup. To play in the online opens, you'll need to compete in the new Arena mode, an always-on form of competition where players can rank up tiers and leagues. It all starts in the Open League, and when players earn 125 points, they'll advance into Contenders League. After that, you'll need to build your way up to 300 points to unlock Champion League, where the Saturday online open players will be chosen. Then, we'll take the top 3,000 solo players or 1,500 duos from that Saturday's semifinals and advance them to the Sunday finals. Each Sunday, 20 players will rise to the top and qualify to join us in New York for the Fortnite World Cup Finals. Buckle up, because we're officially on the road to the Fortnite World Cup Finals.
I knew this was going to happen when you were coming in this week. We got to settle this, man. How are we going to do this?
I feel like the only way is probably Rochambeau.
All right, rock, paper, scissors. I'm with it. All right, here we go.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
That's right, baby. Ultimate champion of the world. Right here. It's your boy, GB. That's what's okay, I have an idea. Are you with me on this? What if, in the spirit of today's competition, we duo up the intro?
Bet.
You like that? High five.
Yes.
That was a good high five as well. I love my ideas. Welcome, everybody, to the Fortnite World Cup week numero dos as we get ready for some duos action. I'm Golden Boy.
I'm Zeke.
And we have a great crew joining us here today. We got your man Sundown over there right by the giant LED wall. You got Dr. Lupo and Courage, bro. You're massive, man. You're so tall. What's happening?
I've been in the gym, 6'5". This camera doesn't do it justice, but I'm ready for a great week of matches.
Absolute
bodyguard status.
Crazy stuff there. It's just also just the way he's standing. Oh, look, he got. Oh, okay, he sent him back. Never mind. That's unfortunate. Okay, so we lost Lupo, and Jack is he's holding it down in the back there. Okay, so welcome everybody. We're really excited for you to be joining us here today, and let's actually talk about what we're going to be checking out. So some of the matches have already taken place in Oceania and Asia. We also have Europe, Brazil, NA East, NA West. We'll be checking out all of the action across the regions, highlights from regions that are already concluded, popping into Brazil, as well as the matches taking place in Europe, NA East, and NA West. Some good things up ahead here, Zeke. I'm really excited.
Yeah, man. Well, don't forget, we also want to talk about things like format. If you've been with us, you know the format. If you're new, though, let's get you up to speed. Placing between 25th and 16th is 3 points. 15th through 6th is 5 total points. 5th through 2nd is 7 total points. And finally, that Victory Royale is worth a gigantic 10 points. And don't forget, guys, each elim is 1 point on the board. So Slayers are going to slay you out. Placers are going to place.
Wow, you just took my joke. You took my joke, Zeke, and I don't appreciate that.
Oh, I did.
Slayers going to slay. All right, so here is the Week 2 prize pool. $1 million. So players are going to be competing for their share of that massive prize pool. It'll be all cut up around the variety of regions, but what's most important is going in to the Fortnite World Cup, qualifying for the Fortnite World Cup final in New York City. And the spots up for grabs for Week 2 in duos. You got 1 spot in Oceania, 1 spot in Asia, Brazil, as well as NA West. Europe will take 4 spots, and NA East will have 3 spots. That's a 4-spot total for North America. And just remember, this is duos, so 2 players are going to be going to the Fortnite World Cup in New York City. Yes, this is going to be awesome. Now, it's going to guide us through what we just saw earlier on, because I know we have the results already for Oceania and Asia. We got Sundown standing by. He's literally standing right there.
He's going to give us that rundown. Good old Sundown.
Oh, I hate you.
Thank you so much, Zeke and Golden Boy. Yes, so we are based in North America. That means we're working in Eastern and Pacific time. So Oceania has already wrapped up. We're going to take a look at the top 10. So as Zeke and Golden Boy covered, only 1 spot will be up for grabs. So you see Serpent and Hype, 2 Victory Royales, 66 eliminations for 107 points. 7 points clear of Vince and Westy in that 2nd place spot. But also Gubaz and our solo qualifier from last week, Slaya, in 3rd place. We did see them as well during the Lux Cup, taking that one home. And then Volks in 4th place as well. So any of those top 4 will be able to challenge out. But we're going to take a look at some of the gameplay coming out from Hype and Serpent. This was from one of their Victory Royales. And you see, not only are they trying to keep the pressure the entire time, but their positioning is on point. Their rifle fire is always coming in together, making sure they chain those eliminations through for an incredibly high-scoring match coming out from them there. So wouldn't be surprised to see them challenging for the top spot, but also any of those teams in the top 4, particularly keep an eye on Slaya and Gubaz. They've done incredibly well and have shown they can perform in the clutch. Speaking of performing in the clutch, we're going to take a look at Asia, which already wrapped up. And in that top spot is a name you should be familiar with by now. Top Fox's partner, Banny. 3 Victory Royales, 66 eliminations as well for 104 points and 8 points clear of kind of that kerfuffle that is that 2 through 5th spot. I mean, all those teams separated by a singular point
coming out right there. You have Envy and Peter Pan for meta, 3 Crazy Raccoons players in there as well. But I mean, we've seen so much out of FaxFox, and his partner Banny really enables him to keep doing that well. Already sitting on 10 elims here. Banny unfortunately has been knocked out, but FaxFox is going to go to work on the high ground and showing just an incredible amount of skill. I mean, watching that drop down there and hitting the 180 and then going through and just challenging on this player, not being able to utilize the RPG and pick it up, but not quite needing it, taking away a huge 14 elimination victory royale there. That was 24 points coming out. Definitely going to be one of my favorites to keep an eye on, and could potentially be the first player to qualify for both the solos and duos portion.
I was going to say, right, they would be our first player to do so. I wouldn't be shocked if some more players in Europe and NA East do the same thing, but boy, this is going to be very, very interesting. Now, let's see who are going to be the players to look out for. And just remember that this is the qualifier. So tomorrow, we will find out who will be going to New York City for the Fortnite World Cup Final. Today, it's all about just getting past the initial gauntlet and grinding your way out to those big ticket games tomorrow. Got some names here, Serpent and Hype, as we talked about before, FaxFox and Benny, lots of folks from the OCE and Asia region, and we'll continue to fill this out as the broadcast goes on, because we have more and more talent across the world that are going to be participating in the Fortnite World Cup Seek.
That's right, GB, but let's be honest, man. We know what you guys want to watch, and that's games. So this duo will walk off stage now and pass it over to another iconic duo, Dr. Lupo and Courage JD. Gentlemen.
Wow, thank you very much, gentlemen, for the kind words. Fantastic little intro. Great to see you both, handsome as ever. Thank God they're gone. Now we can finally have our fun. Myself, Dr. Lupo, here for a fantastic week 2.
You kidding me, bro?
Sorry, I didn't mean that. Please step back. Yes,
GB will actually. I think he would dominate. Just saying.
Yeah,
no offense, Jack.
He would.
Even at 6'5", I think GB has you.
Thank you very much. You're 7'3". We're back though. Week 2 of the online qualifiers here for the Fortnite World Cup. We're starting with the European region, and guess what? Games are ready. I know we want to catch you right up to speed, so let's go to it. Right on over to the action. Ben, for you, looking at this, I know you reacted to last week's games. Obviously, some small little game updates have come on through. I think the big thing people will be looking out for this week, Loot Lake, and what changes made there, how it will affect the matches today.
Right now, Loot Lake has, I believe, 31 total chest spawns, which I'm going to be honest with you, is absolutely ridiculous. So I would not. It's kind of a high risk, high reward area because there's not a whole lot of just default terrain there. It's pretty bland.
Yeah.
So if you land and you're going for loot there, it's going to pay off big. But I don't think that's a solid initial drop location. Now, right now we have a little 2v2 set up here. Mangolika and Kama on your right side of your screen. 33 players left. 19 total duos remaining, and 2 launch pads in the inventory right now. So at least rotation items for this duo are relatively solid for late game, and it's getting to the point. 24 seconds left before the circle moves, Jack?
Yeah, a fantastic loadout. You see, already with that legendary assault rifle, the legendary pump shotgun, and all right, I guess that's how you use the minigun here, popping the minis after getting tagged by that quick hunting rifle shot. I believe that was over from Yvlon and crew, but yeah, already kicking off the action. Remember, the way we'll cover these games, if you're first time tuning into one of these broadcasts, we'll hop on into these games basically right when things will begin to get a little bit nutty with the moving zones, I think is the best way to put it. As you guys know, start of these games, a lot of farming up materials, trying to loot as much as possible. Here's where a lot of the action begins to kick off, and what a heads-up play from Mangolika, Ben, recognizing that the player that just got up is obviously not going to have enough time to heal. You hop back in, and remember, we play in competitive with the 50 health per elimination. There, only 8 HP. You gain 50 more health, now up to 58.
The very edge of the zone, almost claimed him at that point. 8 HP before he moved in, but like you said, 50 HP from Siphon. A potential chance to pick up some extra mats. Oh my gosh. CG Sky on side here, just take a tap fire at the ballers. At this point, you're going to have players kind of, it's an interesting situation. 200 HP on a baller, Jack, means you have the opportunity to try and laser one of those down and break a player out of baller, especially late game. You'll notice these things tend to play out. There's going to be a lot of ballers remaining and only a few players left alive outside of those. They're going to be moving through their structures, which means they have an opportunity. Maybe you poke a baller or two and try and break a player out of them. It forces them potentially into an engagement. You might not get the elimination, Jack, but the point is the player count does go down. And oh my gosh.
This
that
is
boogie
brilliant.
bomb play there on the baller, it takes them out, and they claim that one as their own. A single elim there, Precision May goes down. These two are bunkered inside this structure, Jack.
Brilliant play right there. Remember, if you hit someone with a boogie bomb when they're in the baller, it basically just ejects them out. And next thing you know, they're dancing and not in a fun spot to be in for a fight. CG Skay inside the baller right now. Dynamite being dropped on in 134 total HP for Reno. The zone moving. 26 players remaining, 15 duos. Ooh. A brilliant pump shot there for 157. Still a campfire as well. In the back pocket to use. Nice job building that ceiling just above himself. It gets a little bit weird when you get on that higher elevation, but Reno, you can tell, well practiced, well versed in these late game rotations. Does whiff that boogie bomb there though.
Now,
there's the follow-up. There's the follow-up.
Skay pushing in to try and help out his teammate at the very edge of the zone now. For a moment there, I was curious. They were separated, Skay and a baller, Reno not. He was out running around on his own. It essentially becomes a play-your-own-life situation because if you're in a baller, you have the advantage. You have kind of a free shield, a layer of protection, plus you're crazy mobile. There's no reason that they necessarily have to sacrifice. And this is actually a perfect example. Skay stays down below. He's in the baller, and Reno takes the opportunity as the zone is moving. You see in the bottom right corner of your screen a southwest push for the map. You might as well pop the rift to go and use that as a rotation. Lemon there sitting inside a campfire. That signal there might be an opportunity for somebody to take some shots. We'll see here. Reno has the high ground, Jack. And Skay, his teammate, drops right on top. These two are dominating elevation this match.
And you see still 89 total builds available for CG Skay. They're going to look above, see what they can spot from the players because many rifted because a second rift wound up getting popped. Still 88 builds remaining, already 10 eliminations so far. These two players in a brilliant spot to secure this victory royale. Another one comes on in. Now 11 eliminations, only 18 players in total as the number continues to dwindle. The 7th zone about to close, and again, they're going to have to move completely out of the current zone yet again with these late game moving zones. 14 players now remaining, and you know what? They just can keep the high ground for the rest of this game. With this many builds left, they're just going to blanket the sky with these cone and floor combos. They're actually not held up by too much, but at this point, they don't want to stay up too high. They will have to watch out for the rift, though.
Like you were saying, there's a potential chance the zone might rotate back that direction, which may leave this branch they built kind of exposed. It is metal, pretty well supported, and I think in a situation where it starts to get shot down, they could waterfall their way down the wall ramp to catch themselves, to not take any fall damage. It's easy to drop down, and they're looking for any shot they can. They still have the high ground here. Skay does jump on in a little bit of fall damage. Reno catches himself on the way down, and we're looking for a push here. 12 eliminations between the duo. You see in the bottom right corner, Skay does have a player on the outside. He's trying to catch him off guard. The rotation in from behind and ramps. Try and get the high ground and quick check up, see if there's anybody above him.
14 limbs now as Reno finishes his elimination on Shatsu. Sizzy on top and Luca now in this fight. Only 6 players in total, and there Skay with another one. Now 15 eliminations. This squad, Ben, has wiped nearly a fifth of the lobby by themselves. Another one comes on in. Now just 4 players remaining. It's a 2v1v1. 2v1.
Sidewipe goes down. Mangaliga has the high ground, but Reno and Skay are both sitting pretty with HP and shield. Mangaliga takes a solid shot, and he goes down. Reno and Skay securing that victory royale. 19 eliminations. Now, while you may be thinking, there are quite a few players, Jack, that are playing this. This was the top 3. Anybody that made it to 300 points, Champions League and duos, was able to play in this. The top 3,000 move forward. But you have to realize, to get to 300 points in Arena is not an easy task.
No.
So 19 eliminations is nothing to bat your eyes at.
Brilliant start from them. You've got to think they've probably already gotten themselves in a pretty darn good position to be able to qualify. Later today, you see most eliminations so far. YT Technique in the top of your screen at 3 at this point in the game. 40 players remaining. So again, we hop into another game already going on. This is like up to the action coverage. We just get right into when the game gets heated and everyone has making the drastic plays to try to secure these late game points. Nico just sitting right now inside the box. Remember, his teammate already eliminated, and Ben, that makes such a major difference in how you need to approach these scenarios when you don't have a duo.
He's going to play a lot slower, a lot safer. You see he's in a little metal 1x1. He's not wasting too many mats. He's not really covering the top of his build yet, most likely because he's not too worried about getting picked from the side. The structure is stable. He does have, you see a launch pad in his inventory there, a super important turret. Actually, that being said, we have seen, oh my gosh, there's the launch pad for the rotation. The zone is starting to move the east side. We've seen a turret or two in previous games utilized in pretty interesting ways. Curious to see, especially in duos, an opportunity to bait potentially a snipe from an opponent team while your teammate covers that ground. He's basically built up inside Enspoy's structure right here. He doesn't own a lot of this, but it's not a big deal because he was down underneath. It was metal. It's going to block off a lot of the sight lines. He's not really exposing himself. Speaking of Enspoy, Woku here, their structure, they may have the high ground, the north side of the circle, and they're on the forefront of the next rotation. You see them in the bottom right corner. They have to move northeast. It's not super far, but they do own a lot of this. UMS and his teammate building up above. Woku's actually down below. You see Miko Kong is split between that duo of Enspoy and Woku. Technique, the highest elim count when we first cut to this game, is in the structure as well. Point and Decip are also in here.
And Enspoy, remember, no shield left, so that 134 HP that he's currently sitting on, it's all he's got unless he can wind up catching some of these elims. There's the inventory in the bottom of your screen. Also, not a lot of ammo, Ben. We'll have to conserve these for the right moments, but here goes the rotation, and this so much of a high ground advantage.
Might have been
so
the right
smart
moment, Jack.
from Enspoy to peek on out. Should have an elimination coming in momentarily for 50 more HP. There it is. And he's going for the high ground!
My gosh!
Quickly takes the high ground with that beautiful use of the impulse grenade, and just like that, from 134 health, does peak at 200 for the moment. But look, he's got to drop on down! Oh no! A panic play right there from Enspoy. As he began to fall, the launch pad gets placed. I don't think he thought he was going to reach it. Oh,
to catch himself.
Devastating, and actually cause himself to take the fall damage there.
You hate to see it. Technique on the outside. The knock on Decip, his teammate, is around here somewhere. He's going to have to push inside, avoid the stink. Just a 1 or 2 ticks could make the difference. He's down to 60 total HP, 70 builds.
He has
the elimination.
I was going to say,
2 full shields.
With this zone that just popped up, he was far enough in it where he could pop these big shields. Unfortunately for him, I think everyone just started shooting. Well, will this rocket get him anything? Does clean up 1 elimination, and a second knock as well, I believe, right there. Yes, it is. Technique beginning to pop up. Now it's 6 elims. When we first joined the game, he was at 3. Now it's 7 eliminations, still with 45 builds remaining, 8 eliminations. The other player he had knocked, that was Motto, does go down to the zone. And look who's just above him. One of the players, Pickle, very, very weak. This could work out for Technique. Has he reloaded this rocket launcher? That's a big question for me. We know how lethal an RPG can be this late in the game.
We'll have to see here. 79 HP left.
He's burning through all those materials.
1 rocket. He's on the bottom side and can sneak his way in. Can he catch the fish off guard? And he does. The shotty shot, the follow through.
Wow.
And Technique goes down. Zefish picking up a double there.
Yep.
Visuals and Technique. You see the feed in the bottom left. Still rolling through. 6 players left. 5 players left. But 4 duos. A lot of solos remaining here. Trins from I'm Pickle. Horrify. Ways. You have 4 players left. 3 duos.
Yeah. Pickle's basically burning every material possible to get towards this zone. You see Max and Horrify on the high ground have such an advantage. They're obviously the final duo remaining, and the 2 solos fight at the bottom. It's Pickle now all by himself, 39 materials to build with, but now here comes the waterfall. Horrify and Max dropping on in. Pickle on the bottom right of your screen does hit a clean shot on a Max, which will force Max to back up for the moment. I don't necessarily agree with how they just played that. Right there, sending the weaker of the 2 players down towards the bottom. You kind of got to challenge together. Horrify still keeping this high ground. Max popping 2 minis back over 70 HP. That's Pickle, 26 builds left. Spraying from the high ground, a 70 headshot tag. Max got dropped to 3 HP right there. Nearly went down to a 1-on-1. Pickle doing everything that they can to try to keep an opportunity alive. The spray coming on it is Max. Spam building for the moment. The tree which he was using for cover now gone. Spray continuing to come on in. And again, they're so high up where you got to be worried about this one. And Horrify recognizes it. He's beginning to to kind of build himself down for the moment. We looked at Pickle earlier, didn't have many mats left. He is farming up the stone hut that he has now reached. Horrify drops on down. Max waterfalling down as well. Pickle gets tagged once. Max so weak. Pickle now no shields left. This should be it. There's no way he's going to be able to secure this one. Yeah, there it goes. But I'm going to be honest with you, Dr. Lupo, I feel like that was way closer than it ever should have been.
Absolutely.
And it's only because they wound up keeping Horrify on the high ground and sent Max down, who was already at around only 100 health.
Trins was in such a tough spot, low builds remaining. Even ammo was starting to look a little grim, especially late game when you have two players from above spraying.
Yep.
They could have played a little more secure. They secured the victory royale either way, but giving up even an elim at that point, you're helping. You might be helping an opponent pass you on the leaderboard.
Yeah, it was honestly, Pickle gave himself a chance there by how he wound up playing that one, rushing that other final solo player to get the materials needed. That player was at 0 materials possible. Rushed that player, gave him the opportunity to build 45 more walls. Hopping into our third end game here that we've seen in this sequence.
How do you like this guy's name? Sorry, I won. He's apologetic ahead of time, but he knows potentially he can outplay people. Yeah. 0 eliminations, 63 HP. Popping those shields is very important. Look, he has the new weapon, Jack.
Yes.
What do you think? The sound of that legendary infantry rifle is incredible.
I think it would be one of the scariest weapons to have to go up against if you can get an early rotation and set up on the high ground. Like we saw from earlier, where players had to begin to rotate and they were just basically perched on up, able to rain down fire. The precision that is possible with that legendary infantry rifle is scary. And in the hands of a good player,
wait, there's another player in the box.
Landed there. He just landed right inside the same box, and that's going to go back and cost Ziri. Will he pop the mini first? Doesn't appear so. They're going to go ahead and just get that elim right away.
You were looking for the opportunity to min-max. At this level,
I think it's too late.
Players will typically, like you said, a knockdown will happen, which means because the siphon mechanic is engaged, if you're watching at home, curious why this is important, they can wait to secure, to finish that elim, let the player just be on the ground, pop the 2 minis, get to 50 shield, and then once they get the elimination, they get that siphon 50 and it'll put them at full. In this case, they just went ahead and finished the elimination, put them at 152. Not a necessarily huge deal, but at this level, 48 shield might be the difference between getting body shot by a legendary heavy sniper rifle and being eliminated or not being eliminated.
Always. The heavy sniper rifle, always a hot topic in the competitive community. As we continue to see how this develops, whenever you see players just start launching off, you can say quite confidently, I guess the zone is beginning to move. Son of the Dragon right on the edge, and that's basically the worst spot you can ever be in. If you're building like that, that means one thing and one thing only. You have no rotation items, no shield left. You're basically the first target for anyone that has moved in the zone. You see people rifting just behind him, unfortunately not able to hop onto that one. And Ben, it's one of these zones where there's a lot of elevation coming into play. Always awkward for these players with having to get around towards the top of this mountain.
Now, you might be thinking Tfue does not have the ability to climb necessarily if he does get challenged. He went for it right there. I was about to say, the flint knock oftentimes will be used as a method to build your way up. Now, don't count him out just yet, Jack. Eliminations count as HP as well, and he might use this flint knock in just a second here.
It's too drastic. It's too drastic.
Way too high. Gets another one on the outside. Tfue says, I'm not done yet. He's looking to push his way back in. Another one, drop it down, and he secures another elimination. Don't count him out, Jack. He's not done yet.
Okay, now he's
done,
definitely
Jack.
done.
Okay.
Hey, but look, those 3 limbs right there, 3 points that they wouldn't have had.
That's absolutely incredible. The positioning there, and anytime a circle rotates over a mountain, let's say you're in the game, Jack, and you see the circle is gonna smear everybody off on a mountain. What's the first thing you think?
If you see that zone pop up right there and you don't have rotation, you need to get ahead of it. You need to play just riskier. Oh my goodness, the reaction from Dome. The reaction time, incredible. Right there from Dome, as he's got to build on out. Remember, only 11 players remaining, but when you mention that again, when you see a zone that goes up that much elevation, you need to either act early and make a risky play happen, or as you saw from those players, you basically have a 0% chance of surviving. We went from 30 plus down to, 10 in the last zone movements, and I guarantee you majority of it was because of that elevation. A beautiful edit. The stinks now coming on in. Domy's got to make a move happen, but Ben, look at the materials remaining. 116 structures. This player can build forever in this late game zones.
Catches Nomus rotating the outside and does get that pump shot. The fact that Dom caught a player essentially like catching a fly with chopsticks to get that elim earlier is insane. But here we go. 4 eliminations. His teammate had 2 before he's out. He's solo. 6 players left. Another one. Fact Ghost gets knocked down. Dom trying to pick up his 5th elim here. He's going to edit his way out, pushing for a safe spot at the edge of the zone.
He still so many mats.
The stink, the pressure applied from the stink is going to force him to rotate, but it's no big deal. He was going to anyway. Fact Ghost gets eliminated down below. That is another elim. You have 2 players below. A baller, little man still in the baller, and Nummy all the way up top.
It's an elevation zone again. Nummy's in a brilliant position, not having to worry about this because he's already playing the high ground. He's not even being focused right now because everyone else is too worried about popping on up. 3 players remaining, only solos left. Numby, Bat, and Domi. There's a launch pad that will soon be in play in the zone. Will any of these 2 players see this? It doesn't appear so, as no one's on that low ground. That's right now, but there's Doma using those insane amount of materials to try to fight for this high ground. That's the big battle right now. Bat is just enjoying sitting down there. No pressure at all at the moment. 3 players left. Numby still aiming down with that heavy sniper rifle, looking for an opportunity to potentially catch Dome off guard. And it's Bat who's still just spam building from the low ground.
Nummy's pressure from above is basically forcing
Domi's out of build.
Just all the mats come out.
Domi's out of build.
He's going for it. It looks like going for the 1v1 on the bottom. Nummy dropping in, trying to third party this. All the way down to the ground. He's still in the safe zone. Catches Bat off guard. Nummy and Dom in a 1v1. Still inside the zone. Very, very close to the edge. 6 eliminations. Could catch a 7th here in just a second. No builds. 24 shield, 60 HP, and he slides on the outside. He's got to look for shots and put pressure. This might be it. He catches it. Are you kidding me? Nummy goes down.
The headshot from Domi. 7 eliminations single-handedly wins his team the game. And Ben, plays like that are what make the difference in qualifying in the top 1,500 duos and sitting at home watching tomorrow on Sunday.
The extra 3 points from that victory royale may be the deciding factor in putting them into the next round. Top 3,000 from today do make it through, which means I would say at this point a solid victory royale with a handful of elims is almost a guarantee for making it to Sunday. But you never know. You have to try and secure every single one they can.
Absolutely brilliant stuff right there. Heading on over the train duo of Seth and DRG. 3 eliminations to this point in the game. 40 players remaining. Boombo just there, and stay there in dark, hiding in the corn, and guess what? It's time to harvest, folks. Interesting way. This is I think this is how they harvest corn in the southern parts of the U.S.
Listen,
they throw dynamite into the field.
Being from Nebraska, I fully understand the decision here. The strategy to hide in the corn is one that I've adapted in my own play style pretty often.
And in real life.
Yeah, it's basically where I live, Jack. Now, that train duo on the outside does catch that elimination. 1 WLG player going down. The Q-Lash duo, Bronze and Kevin, securing their own little structure there. They're in a pinch situation potentially. If DRG and Seth decide to apply pressure, Seth looks like he's going to rotate away, looking more towards the zone than going for the elim at that point.
Here's what's important of what just happened. They only had 1 baller available for that duo. They get that elimination on So. He hops on in, and now they each have a baller for themselves. They can use those to rotate. Hopping on over to Rams and Nikolai. 4 eliminations for themselves so far. Unfortunately, this build about to drop on down. That is his teammate in the same 1-by-1.
Thankfully.
Yeah, and they are decently close to this next zone, so not too bad. But again, dude, how good are stink grenades late game?
The stink right now in competitive Fortnite, the ability to zone players out of their own structures and force them to burn more mats, maybe rotate into a disadvantageous position, is so strong. But it doesn't matter here. Rams catches the shotgun shots from above. Unsane does get the knockdown. He's looking to potentially pick up his teammate Nikolai, also down. They're fighting for this.
He got it!
Enigma goes down. Rom's able to secure his friend and the 2 elims.
And remember when I said they're close enough to the next zone? Oh, no!
He won't be able to pick him up.
I thought he had a chance, but unfortunately, the way it's cutting, it won't wind up happening. Roms did what he could. He gave himself a chance to go for the res, but the timing was just really, at that point, a couple seconds off.
The thing to remember, too, even though Nikolai was just eliminated, that elim does not count for a point for the duo that knocked him because they are out of the game already.
Yeah.
If one of them was still alive, it would count as an elim point, but not in this situation. Rom's looking to catch a player on the outside. VNTX goes down in an easy 78 pump crit there. Roms looks like gets hit by potentially a rocket as he's rotating in, 54 HP. 2 stinks, the med kit potentially coming in clutch here in 1 second. We'll have to see if Roms needs to push in further, and he does. Quadra, there's tons of players around him as he's rotating in, and he gets caught off guard. Looks like Hiko Sid does get the elim, or potentially Quadra. I missed who exactly got the shot there, but he gets caught on the movement. There, Kevin, Bronze, 1 baller between the 2 of them, which means Kevin is kind of allowed to play on his own right now.
This is the strength of the baller right here. Just was on the low ground, but testing for the high ground, and whoa, does take a ton of storm damage right there.
It's not a whole lot of health left on this baller, so he's got to be very careful. If you're caught up in the air when that thing breaks,
yep,
you're going to take the fall and potentially get eliminated. You got to be very careful watching that every step of the way. No eliminations for this duo just yet, but both are still alive. Kevin trying to use the baller to navigate his way on the outside. You don't necessarily want to engage unless you see an opportunity just like that. And Hiko Sid does go down. Kevin gets the knock. 43 HP.
There we go.
Does get that elimination, the first one for the duo. And Kevin is there by his duo's side for just a moment before deciding to ascend. And the baller looks like it gets broken. Kevin caught off. He's in the middle of it now, the very edge of the zone too.
Hey, but the baller's done its job for Kevin. The baller's absolutely done its job. He's made it this far in the game, top 12 right now. Ritz weak at the bottom part of your screen. LeBron's knows that. Peeks on out. Will get the knock right there. No full elimination. Does turn back around. So you'll see that shield full of bronze jump up. There it is. Back up to 150 total HP. Now down to our top 10. Continuing to spray just above. A nice shield tag. We'll have to watch out. And a beautiful pump follow-up. But unfortunately takes a ton of damage during that. And you see, with how these late games are, it's always so key to be so ready to peek out and edit out of one single area. We talked about DRG and Seth earlier. They got the 2 ballers. They jumped in with them, and guess what? They got 2 ballers earlier on. It helped earn them this high ground right now. And just like that, Seth is going to continue to play from up above. Now down to just 6 players left. Antarak eliminated. The 2 other players in the low ground were already weak. You see Flex there trying to pop minis in the zone. It might cost him his life. It does. The Beast now with just 120 HP. 2 teams left. 2 teams of 2.
Seth and DRG probably in the dominant position at this point, the most HP and shield, but Dealers and the Beast, not to be underestimated. Dealers down to 50, 40 HP at this point. It's a top down from Seth, though. DRG goes down. It's a 2v1, Jack.
They're so worried about keeping the high ground that they basically send DRG down by himself, and he's fighting a 1 versus 2 against Dealers and the Beast. And what I don't know is if there's maybe a miscommunication and the 2 trained players don't realize that it's a 2v2 and not a 2v1v1. But unfortunately, now it's Seth all by himself with this high ground. Absolutely very still winnable. But they might be in a little bit more of a tough scenario than they were hoping for in this late game. Seth pop into Campfire, does still have a rift to go if needed. Don't really think there'll be too much use of it right now with where we're at in the game.
Imagine a play where Seth makes sure that he has higher HP than the 2 below, and he drops down, pops that rift to force him into the storm to take storm damage, and since he has more HP, he survives and wins. Imagine, Jack.
Oh, man,
it would be absolutely ridiculous. No rockets left, Seth. We're right at the end here. He's going to have to look for something here. 49, 39 HP, waiting for the tick out. Dealer's knocked, and there it is. The victory royale. Seth, even though DRG goes down earlier in a 2v1 on the ground, Seth's he's able to secure the victory royale.
And there's the hype dance at the end right there from Seth and DRG. A beautiful victory. We jumped in with them early on, and they wind up winning the game. Awesome first 4 matches today, but I know the other gentlemen want to get their voices heard.
My God, Seth, that was absolutely disgusting. In case you missed it, he shut out the campfire and dropped both those players on their domes. That was insane. What a crazy 2v1 or 1v2 situation. But now let's take a look and dive into some other replays and things that happen along in these games. We got Sundown here, who's going to be hanging out with us. Sundown, what you got for us?
Thank you so much, Zeke. Yes, so we are going to take a look right now into 4 of the plays that ended up happening with that kind of exemplify clutch play and closing out the victory out. So let's jump right on in first with CG, Skay, and his partner, Reno. So we saw a lot of Reno. I wanted to see what Skay was able to do from his perspective of this. So they utilize the Boogie Bomb, able to put down the team fire on that shot, not giving Precision May the ability to actually react out of it, because there is a time before you're able to fire. You're stuck in that little disco, and now utilizing the drop down, pushing in on Quinny, by the way, and able to pick that one up. And also notice how he's getting the resources and then finding immediate lines of fire right away, continuing to put pressure on the opponents, knowing this guy is on a campfire, edits back out, and then keeps pressuring with his partner. Reno was actually able to pick up that elim. And again, Skay dropping down, picking up that elimination, always making sure Reno is there to cover. Now, we're going to jump back on over with Technique. This is one of the power positions we've talked about before, but it's on the back side of the circle. If you're ready to fight and other people aren't, or they're already stuck in other engagements, it becomes very simple to then challenge and pick up other eliminations, as is able to get one full conversion and a knock there, which then ends up being converted over. Great shots over there on the Nico Kong as well. Now, we saw this one on cast, but this is just so clutch coming out from Timo. Like, just recognizing that there's no way he's going to get back to the zone, so just trying to find as many points as he can, with each point being an elimination, picking up 3 additional points, and also pushing himself into the top 12 with those was huge. Now, the low ground rampage coming out from Dame. Saw this in the last game, but how he was able to actually pick these up as the players challenged through, getting the conversion over in the storm fight in order to get the siphon, and then ducking back in, just making sure he's covered the entire time, slides back out, but because the other player in the zone is moving off of the side of the mountain, he has to trade out shots because he's running low on builds, forces the action going through, and because he was able to get back into the zone and then turn and land his shot, secures himself 3 eliminations and the victory out. So guaranteed coming out with securing an additional 13 points for them there.
Man, pretty sweet indeed, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for week 2 of the online open qualifiers. We do have more games. We're going to hop right back over to the dynamic duo to get into more action. Courage, Lupa, over to you guys.
Thanks, Zeke. Appreciate it. We are still here, the Fortnite World Cup online open. Jack, what do you think of Europe so far?
They're all great people in Europe. You know, I was just in Europe last week. I ate my entire body weight in sausages.
Don't think that's physically possible, but I do believe you.
Yeah, well, you obviously haven't seen this. Can we note how many eliminations, is it Rojo?
Rojo has 9, and there's 42 players left. Absolutely dominating this lobby so far. He and his duo partner, I believe Wolfie's right there, moving in the edge of the storm, still safe where they are. They have a couple players around them. They have a duo directly underneath. They have one. I believe you see the map down there. One of my favorite parts about this, not only the cluster, the stack, the density of players, but you watch the arrows spinning around because they're checking 360 the entire time, watching for any movement, any opportunity to take shots. It's insane. They're like they're little tops, little spinning like little tops down there.
Spinning like little tops. Rojo really is looking for this elimination on Speedy, who's just above with under 70 HP. He's trying to hold this edit for the moment, looking for help from Waffles. Hasn't gotten it as of yet. And there's one player just above. There we go. The elimination onto Speedy. Doesn't get much easier than that. What it seems like so far from what I'm seeing from Rojo right away is done a great job of recognizing who to target right away. Even though they had an advantageous position on the early rotation for the zone, you really couldn't see too much because of how much build is all around them, and they're only midway up. They're not at the very top. They can't just peek all the way down. So instead of trying to hope someone runs into this very narrow window, he forces the engagement on someone that's nearby that he knows is weak. You love to see it right there. Dynamite going off, breaking down a ton of these builds, as Waffles will continue to just kind of branch on out for the moment, hoping to force an engagement on the player just on the other side of this wall.
See there, we can see the outline of the duo underneath, but he can. He's looking for any kind of movement in there. He can catch him through the little wood slats. He does indeed catch one through the wood slats. Wolvie's with a knockdown. He's going to continue to apply pressure. His teammate, you can see on the left side of your screen, Rojo does have the angle, and they're both just going to spray through any material that they can, trying to get every elimination that they can in there, and they do secure the knockdown. They're going to keep on spraying. Listen, Whoever that is in the bottom is going to go through every single material they have, and that's the inevitable end. Honestly, at that point, as Starliu, I would just burn all the mats I can.
I think the question now that I would ask is, do you drop down and try to go grab all that stuff?
Just because of the material usage?
I mean, there's a launch. All right, I guess the baller's done it.
They're
the baller with the bush.
Down,
This person's a walking tank right there.
It's like one of those toys you get at a grocery store out of the 50-cent little dispensers, little bush inside the ball. Wolfie's here.
I mean, they probably had those when you were a kid, but
listen, Jack.
I think now they just give out codes for the App Store. As now Waffles and Rojo down to just a lower amount of HP on Rojo, who's at 7 limbs at this point. The squad moving on in. Onan on the high ground does fall to the storm. Saw as well. Native Res. Zaytree getting sprayed at the moment. Isa on the low ground. Mag Venom up top. Waffles and Rojo have gotten some health back, so you've got to assume that they've had to have found another elimination somewhere in there, Ben.
Still mixing it up the edge of the zone. Rojo catches another one off guard, rotating in. The knockdown and the elimination. There's 8 and 3, 11 for this duo. 22 players remaining. 45 seconds remaining on this circle rotation. They're the edge of the zone. They're going to have to start moving in real quick. You see the redeploy. He's going for the launch pad. Just barely the edge of the storm, but it's good enough. He's going to hug it in the air.
And there he can't check what builds are going on above him, so he builds it basically 1 floor into the zone, knowing no one's building above me inside the zone right now. It gives him a clear path to be able to launch pad and actually use the full height. The question that we always have in these games, will the high ground duo be able to close out? They have the advantage, obviously. Do they have enough materials is the question. And, okay, it looks like they're, oh, no. Oh, I thought he fell.
A little bit of a skip there.
Yeah.
I caught you off guard, Jack.
I thought he fell, but apparently he's all right. Mag Venom in a build battle now, going for this high ground. A beautiful pump shot for 152. Did that knock the player? That did. I'll tell you that much. The Boombo showing off just how good it can be.
The top down here, 0 and 2 eliminations, 2 total for this duo. You see there's still a baller, Everglide, and Mag Venom kind of hugging the very edge here, looking for any opportunity. That Boombo could come in absolutely clutch right now. Just catching someone with a single shot is enough to do 100 minimum damage. Here we go, spraying from above. PvP goes down to Everglide, 3 and 1. That's 4 elims. Zapri is still down below in a baller. You have Mimulti in a baller as well. 7 players left, 5 duos total, which means you have only a couple solos in here.
Everglide now just keeping a slight high ground advantage. So many builds left, and again, Ben, it looks like Elevation's about to come into play. Did the zone push back the opposite side?
Looks like it's going southeast.
Yeah, it did. So that'll save the low ground players for the moment. Doesn't wind up going over the entire mountain. But they have so many materials, and look at this. It's a 2 versus 1. Mimulti has no shields left. They have 400 health.
I was literally going to say, Mag Venom dropped in solo for a second, and I was going to say, let's not see a repeat of previous games, but Everglide's right there by his side. They're even sharing materials right now during a push. Mag Venom drops in. Mimulti inside a box of his own here, trying to hug the edge of the storm and stay ahead. Just stay towards anything to stay ahead of the push, and he gets caught off guard. 38 HP, only 13 shouty shells. Trying to peek that little corner to edit out. Gets a solid tag, jump up over the top. You got to watch your back, though. He's building up, ascending, trying to keep a top down, and he catches a 90 shot, but it's not enough, and Mag Venom secures that last elim. 7 elims, the victory royale. That's a lot of points, Jack.
That is a lot of points right there as the action continues. You saw the hope trying to use those materials to get any bit of high ground that they could, but it's just not enough. In a 1 versus 2, they've got a distinct health advantage. Over now to another game going on. Remember, these are the online qualifiers for the Fortnite World Cup. It's week 2 of the action. Players who place in the top 1,500 duos today in their respective regions will qualify for tomorrow's crazy matches. Janice and Rijas rotating now towards
whatever
the
you
next
say, Jack. In terms of,
I'm trying to read some of these names. I'm struggling a little bit. I didn't do well enough in.
If it's not a McDonald's menu, I know you struggle a little bit, Jack. So it's no big deal. Don't worry about it.
I will take a number 2 though with cheese on both burgers and a medium fry.
6 elims for this duo. 31 players remaining, and look, they're going to tap fire. That suppressed AR is actually extremely accurate if you pace your shots, but it looks like they're going for any damage that they can. You have a player rotating in on a quad crasher through the air. You have, oh my gosh,
goodness.
Rapid goes down.
Doesn't hit the follow-up shot.
You have multiple teams in that mix, though. You saw 3 players minimum that were all pushing in to try and secure the other elim. What a snipe, though. very good regardless of whether or not you get the other Elim. There's a duo that we've seen many times in tons of previous events. Mongrel and Mitro in the zone right now, pushing through another player's structure. You see they're knocking out the walls and replacing. He's holding an edit, trying to peek his way through and see if he can see somebody mid-movement. Those quick edits will come into play here if they see someone below. The campfire. Anything to top off the HP, though. That dynamite jack is trying. This actually is proof of just how nested the structure is.
Yep.
3 sticks of dynamite went off and nothing fell. The edit there, Tfue gets caught off guard. Mongrel did own that ramp, and there it is, the Elim picking up that little bonus there.
That's the second rift to go. 2
rifts at this point. He's max materials, 150 build.
At this point, they're in a brilliant position to win this game. Even though they're not on the high ground, they're caught below this hill. 2 rift to goes this late in the game will at least guarantee them a very solid placement. You see Bloxu and Vic. Oh my goodness, did he get the trap? Both ballers get hit by the trap. And he pops on up and eliminates Grizzly. But unfortunately, the baller keeps activating, or the trap keeps activating, even if the baller's there without anyone in it. So the baller was weak, not able to use it. Will just pop this rift. He had 2 anyway, so you might as well use one early. When you're by yourself, you just got to try to place as high as possible.
Float his way in now. Just trying to maintain above everybody. At this point, because it's mid-rotation, a majority of the time, the players that have the highest ground, you see them up there at the top of the screen for just a moment, they're not necessarily looking up to take shots. They're trying to watch for players that are caught off guard, maybe low materials, and are trying to branch their way in or push off of other people's structures. Those shots are going to be probably the most important, and there's a pretty low chance that you're going to get challenged by someone flying in with a redeploy, a rift, a launch pad, anything like that. Yeah. You already have the high ground, which means they're going to waste time landing. You could potentially hit a pump shot on them. There's low risk at that point. So watching for players mid-rotation, super important. And this duo still does have a baller. Ricky's going to try and move his way towards the front of the zone. It's a northwest move. You got 2 players moving in from the top there. It is Mongrel and Mitro now have the high ground, Jack.
I mean, you knew they would. They had the rifts to immediately be able to give themselves a chance for the high ground, and then with max materials, at least Mongrel did. You've got to think Mitro was probably up there as well, because the extra mats that were left behind from the elims that they got. 13 players remaining, 9 duos in total. Quick little cleanup from Jocko there on the crash. Does get tagged, but a 210 pump shot there to the dome. Jocko with 2 elims right there and has time to pop the slurp juice.
Gets caught off guard, though. That little window edit. Oh, my gosh. The movement in, and he did get shot from behind the same player. It is Ricky picks up that elimination. The first one for their duo. 9 players left, Jack. 8 duos for 8 teams, which means there's all solos except for 1.
At this point, if you're Ricky, give yourself a chance. Just pop one of these slurps. Even though you're full health, just pop one of them. Launch pad being used. Is Mitro about to be challenged on the high ground? It appears so. 1 elimination comes on in. A second player challenges as well. Mitro in the build battle. This could decide who can win this game. He will drop on down. Oh, no. Mitro.
A 20-meter fall. Falls. It actually took another player out as well at the exact same time. 5 solos remaining.
They were just too high up. Look at the build battle. It caused them both to go too high up. And I think Mitro was hoping that he would get his elimination bonus for the health on a limb, but it didn't pop in yet. Terrible ending there for that duo. 5 teams left with 5 players, meaning it's just all solos from here on out. Who can clutch up for their squad? Blazu, battling for the high ground, continues to just keep these materials and ramps in his favor. Only has a shotgun and SMG, but at this point in the game, Ben, that's really all you do need. Still 44 total builds. 3 players now left. The drop on in. Beautiful quick swap and cleanup with that legendary compact SMG. Sees with no shield. Blocks who high ground. Health advantage.
Has minis.
Material advantage. I mean,
this is his game to win at this point. Only a mistake is going to cost him, or an extremely solid pump shotgun shot. But even then, that green, it's not going to hit for 200, even if your opponent's swallowing the barrel. At that point, it still won't do enough damage. Z's arguably, I mean, this is potentially the worst position he could be in.
Yep. I mean, the one thing that I kind of see is that he does have a campfire when his opponent doesn't. But I wonder if Bloxu is expecting him to run out of materials anytime soon, because last we checked, player on the low ground was down to just 7 total builds, and you've got to think they've been using builds this whole time.
Well, there's only 20 builds remaining of his zone. He's staying right inside the zone. Maybe pop that slurp just a little bit early. He was already 100-100, so he could have saved it for just a moment. Sees, takes the shot, and there it is. Blazoo secures the victory royale. An excellent, that was a solid game.
To be honest, that clean, using the new bunny hop emote there. 5 eliminations, a victory royale, a bunch of points earned for the duo right there. The action will continue in Europe, but for right now, we've got to throw it over to our main man, Zeke.
Yep. Hey. I'm just gonna set that aside. Hi. Yeah. Just like Courage talked about, EU has wrapped up, guys. Now listen. I know you want to see standings, but we're going to throw to a 5-minute break, and when we return, we'll have those standings for you guys to take a look at. So stay tuned. Got more Fortnite action after this.
Jump on and drop in. It's time to kick off the Fortnite World Cup competition. From April 13th to June 16th, we'll be running Fortnite World Cup Online Opens, where you can qualify to compete for your chance at a piece of the $30 million prize pool. But how will these work, you ask? Each week we'll alternate back and forth between solos and duos competition, with players qualifying from each server region in Oceania, Asia, Europe, Brazil, NA East, and NA West. To find specifics for your server region, go to Fortnite.com/World Cup. To play in the online opens, you'll need to compete in the new Arena mode, an always-on form of competition where players can rank up tiers and leagues. It all starts in the Open League, and when players earn 125 points, they'll advance into Contenders League. After that, you'll need to build your way up to 300 points to unlock Champion League, where the Saturday Online Open players will be chosen. Then, we'll take the top 3,000 solo players or 1,500 duos from that Saturday's semifinals and advance them to the Sunday finals. Each Sunday, 20 players will rise to the top and qualify to join us in New York for the Fortnite World Cup Finals. Buckle up, because we're officially on the road to the Fortnite World Cup Finals.
I didn't start off the qualifier too great. It was like the late games where I think I won a game with 6 kills, and then my last game alone I went from 54 to 65, so every game matters. I'm just glad that I qualified the first week of solos, and I guess my practice paid off.
Yeah, I've never really been like, oh my god, what could this turn into? No, I kind of just like live it day by day, and I enjoy every single moment that I can. It's absolutely enjoyable. To come into like the World Cup, which is basically the most competitive event so far, you know, you have everybody around the world, everybody's allowed to compete, and then to just come out of the gates and qualify for the first week is just absolutely amazing. Like,
it's a special sensation. I want to be the best player. I want to be better than all people and progress in myself. I need to play more aggressive and more play the high ground.
So far I'm the only Finnish person, and it feels awesome. Like I can maybe give the best representation for Finland. I don't know if they actually understand how big this is, but after the news, all of them have been like congratulating me, and it's a huge influx of like new support, and it's overwhelming.
I have a few close friends, and they're just blown away. What is this? This is what you've been doing, and thankfully they're very supportive. I think we have a really good roster. We picked up some really good players. I think I put out a good first impression.
There's just random moments throughout my day where I'm just like, oh my god, I actually qualified. Like, I'm going to the World Cup. I'm going to New York City. It's gonna be so fun. I love it.
It's awesome. Thanks, Fortnite.
welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, Jonesies, Bonesies, and everyone in between. My name is Sundown, and we're here at the Fortnite World Cup Online Open number 2. It's the first Duos week. We've already jumped into some of the European games, but now, I know they played overnight. We already covered a little bit of it, but we want to give them some of the spotlight. So we're going to jump right on in to some of the Oceania matches with Zeke and Golden Boy, and I could not be more excited to cover some of these guys.
All right, because games like this where they're busting out 5+ elims in a game, currently Serpent is going to be that elim leader. We got 25 players remaining, and now we're going into that first half circle here, Zeke. And Zeke, it's good to be back at the booth with you, buddy.
I know, it's been quite a while since we've gotten to hang out, but now we get to come together again, have more fun times, and talk about Fortnite. My goodness, the BES boys, man, Hype and Serpent, these guys are absolute slayers. 7 eliminations between them here in the Oceania region. And just like you talked about, man, half in, half out circle, these guys are going to start scrambling, trying to get to safety. But with these guys already posted up, I promise you they're going to make it difficult for everyone else to try and get safe.
Yeah, you can see that circle starting to push on in, and Hype and Serpent really don't need to move around right now. They can take advantage of this time and pick off any of the stragglers. Maybe a guy that's going to be lingering about in a hoverboard, as we saw just right there. There's opportunity for them clearly to be able to benefit from the position of this circle, and they're doing just that. They're putting the pressure on players that are hiding out in 1x1s. You see that one poor sucker is just going to try and defend. And what's nice about the duos format versus, and there you have it, another elimination, number 8 onto Baklau. But the thing that we saw in the Lux Cup that was really fun to watch, and here we're going to get more of that, is just the coordination. When you have the heavy snipe wall destroy with the rocket going in, or trying to coordinate those shots, right? You see the talent when they do it solo, but duos, you have to have that next level coordination, or the double heavy snipe, right? Like, those are always just fun to watch.
Yeah, man. And, you know, this is going to be a really easy mark of distinguishing who's a very dominant duo, right? A lot of people kind of would think, oh, duos, you know, you're just playing with your buddy, like, it's just a good time, but it's actually a lot more difficult because there's a lot of more decision making that goes into anything you do. As simple as, like, hey, I want to push this guy. If your duo is like, look, man, I don't have mats, I'm not really comfortable with this, you can't just push the guy, right? Unless you're like, I don't know, something like Metro, then you just kind of do whatever you want and dominate everyone anyway. But these BS boys are really showing up, putting on quite a clinic, and they're doing it really safely. You can tell they're really maximizing every single everything they have at their disposal.
Yeah, and I did like that decision by them as well. They were furthest back, so they had to utilize that jump pad to just go right to the edge of the zone and just get into that safe area. Players are going to start to rotate out. That probably was the worst circle they could possibly have had for what they previously had, where they were able to just hold down the safe area this time around, having to completely go to the other end here and then keep on building out. But what they're doing brilliantly is maintaining the high ground. They're going to have some campfires. They're going to have some traps in case players who rift up maybe try and jump on top of them. They could save that for a little bit later. They don't need to use those right now. For now, they can just focus on picking off players and try and challenge them on the high ground, utilize the traps that they need to when they need to. But this is just disgusting. Every single time a player thinks that they're going to be engaging in another battle, there comes that third-party opportunity from Hype and Serpent. That will be 9 eliminations, Zeke. They are shredding this, and Serpent's going to be very low on HP, and I don't know if he's going to have the time to be able to heal up here, which is the concern I'm sure that they're having. But Hype just keeps on getting more and more eliminations.
Yeah, Serpent needs to try and find at least a pick, right? That Siphon will come up clutch and get him back in the game, but he's got to play very conservative, allow Hype to kind of chip people down. I mean, with Hype, it doesn't matter. He's just eliminating them. He's just like, look, man, these are all mine. Just keep on rolling.
He's destroying everybody in the server here, Zeke. It is disgusting. And it's like, he builds and shoots, builds and shoots. He's always reading this one, and he's been doing just such a brilliant job thus far. He's been reading it like an open book. Anyone that tries to challenge up above, goodbye, hand clap. Now you just got clapped. Goodbye, my friend. You got 2 ballers there. I don't even know if that's going to be a problem. Serpent, he hasn't had an opportunity to be able to heal up because Serpent hasn't gotten any eliminations. It has been all Hype all the time. He's living up to that name, Zeke. He's bringing the hype.
This is insane, dude. And we just hit top 5, so another set of placement points. These guys are poised to make and walk away with Victory Royale. Another Elam, GB. What's happening? This is 16 between them.
And Serpent just got some heals, so nicely done there.
The rocket
goes down. That's going to be you mad, bro. You mad, bro's definitely going to be mad here, Zeke, because Hype and Serpent, they're surrounding them completely. This is why they're the team to look out for in this region. You mad, bro had no chance. Definitely frustrated with that one. Hype and Serpent crushed that game. 18 eliminations and the victory royale.
That was insane, man. They put on a clinic. I love their team synergy, the way they're finding these angles, and they're also splitting attention, which is really key, especially in duos, right? You don't want to be running at the guy from the same point of view. You want to make sure they have to look in different directions to try and pick you off, and they are doing it so well. And keep in mind, Serpent, we saw him. He was low that entire time. Even with that low HP, he felt so confident. And we're going to hop into this next game where Serpent's already sitting on 4 eliminations.
And once again, just a reminder for everyone, because if you're saying, well, we just saw these players, well, we're taking a look at some of the highlights from the Oceania region where Serpent and Hype came out on top. So we already know the results. We know what already transpired. But this is a good time for us to get acclimated with these players, because if they keep playing like this, there is a possibility that we are going to see them at the Fortnite World Cup Final in New York City. This is some premium duos play here. They're just destroying every server that they're in. It's been very impressive to watch thus far. But for now, though, we're going to highlight some more players like Chances and Poppin' Fresh, who are at 2 eliminations, and now we're at 25 players left. 15 duos remaining.
That's right. We get another set of placement points. 5 is that next threshold. Now Colt is going to find himself in a rough spot right now. He gets lasered down. They're going to try and confirm that elimination. Just apply pressure the best they can. Get a few edits here and there wherever is possible, and just keep the ball rolling.
Yeah, they're in a nice spot, just right inside of that safe zone, and they're going to own all of the territory around here, so they can quickly edit out. And then if Colta tries to get picked up here, if he goes to his teammate and says, hey, come grab me, they can punish us. They just got to hear it. They got to listen for those cues.
Man, but look at Chance. Look at the way he's moving through these builds, right? He's making sure he's got his angles covered. He doesn't want to give them an opportunity, because I promise you, good players, the moment you crack that wall, they've got a shot, but he's not giving them an opportunity. They're going to try and close him down.
Oh, that was nasty. And I was going to say, right, again, grab all of that area, right? Own all the walls, own all of the floors, because you can defend yourself. You can also get out of a rough spot if need be. And this circle now is going to be moving, thus giving them that space to kind of reset. You see Hype and Serpent there as well. Some more players, Axden, Keith, Nika. You got Dusty as well down low. So I think that Social Deviant there too. So we got Social Deviant just picking up a elimination. That will be number 1 for Social. And this is going to be 2 eliminations for him and his teammate. And I have to say, like, you know, this region has just been impressive. Like, I've enjoyed watching the Oceania region. You know, I come from, you know, a variety of games where there's some quality players in Oceania, and whenever you give them that opportunity, they'll show you why they're able to brawl with the big boys.
Yeah, man, these guys are very, very good, and they're showing us exactly why, right? Just look at the way they move as duos. Again, duos is completely different than solos. You have to rely on your teammate, and if you're caught in a situation where you're by yourself, especially, like, you don't want to put your teammate in that kind of situation. So just keep an eye on how these guys build. They catch a player off guard. Shot's going to come out, and I believe that was a knock here. So Zaku, another one, 76 to that man's face. Anything else to follow up? Okay, never mind. We find another one. Zaku's on he's just going. Zach's going off.
Yeah, Zach ended up just being gifted to their players just landing right in front of him. And that's going to be another elimination from Ion Stein. And Zach with 2 elims, his teammate not going to be in this one. As far as his kit is concerned, it will have that purple compact SMG, which is good for busting through those walls and trying to push on in, but Zach is just going to get obliterated down low. That is so unfortunate. But then you have Cat taking walls, another player we saw in the top 10, and for due reason. Orenz is going to go bye-bye in this game. That's going to be 6 eliminations total for this duo, and they have a lot. They got 2 stinks. They're going to have themselves an epic rocket launcher as well as a legendary AR and that legendary pump. This is, with the stinks, that is good to just try and like force people out, right? Great control and zoning people away from their 1x1s. With the rockets, that will just destroy anyone who tries to get a little overzealous. They could punish big time.
You can even do more things with that, right? If you hang on to those key stinkers toward the end of the game, keep in mind the circle's always closing. So there's going to be a point where if you throw a stinker down, it's going to encompass the entire area of the zone. So they're just going to be taking tick damage the entire time, trying to like figure out what am I supposed to do? I need to get to safety. And the whole time those damage numbers are coming up, you know exactly how you're tracking them.
Oh,
Walls, no.
Chunk. That is going to be very painful there. 30 HP, going to get ticked away by the stinkers. And I don't know if you saw there, Zeke. Oh, gets the down onto Mao. Another one is going to pick up yet another elimination on Dusty. That's going to bring him back up to 100 HP. But in this engagement here, just scrambling about, and I don't know if you noticed, but Serpent and Hype were up above them. We just have 2 duos left, 4 players remaining, and that is going to be Hype and Serpent. Will Cat and Lapex be able to pick up the victory royale in here? As they're going to have one player that will be down. That's Serpent, but now it's going to be up to Hype. Hype's going to be in this 1v2.
He trades back.
Hype manages to take out Lapex. Now we're down to a 1v1. That player's going to be down low, and good, right? Just reset for a moment, get the shields back up. Lapex is going to be out of this one, and now Zeke, you're dealing with a 1v1.
This is so good for Hype. He's in such a commanding position, but I've talked about it. Those stinkers, look at this. He knows where this player is. He's tracking that health tick, and that's going straight to his health bar. 110 to the face, and a follow-up stink GB.
Wow.
180 to close out this game. Okay, Cat taking walls, more like Cat taking dubs up here in Fortnite right now.
You called it, Zeke. You said watch out for those stinkers. They're gonna force and consolidate a lot of that activity and force you to make some really poor movement choices. And that really was, he had the hand, and he played his cards beautifully. For now, though, we're gonna send it back into the studio with Sundown.
Thank you so much, Golden Boy and Zeke. It was great to get some coverage over onto the Oceania players, but the spirit of this broadcast, jumping into those late games, is making sure we get as much coverage in as many regions as possible. So we're also going to hop on in immediately to the Asia games, cover another block of those. So make sure we get some of the highlights and some of the clutch plays coming from Fats Fox and Banny. And Asia is a region in particular that I think players need to keep an eye on, because we see consistently, both between solos and duos, it's generally a top 10 and top 5 group who are able to challenge. So highly recommend checking out some of the games, and who better to walk us through it than Golden Boy and Zeke again.
You're so kind. You're too kind.
Such a nice guy, right? What a chap.
What a chap. You see the hair? You see the hair? I'm jealous. I'll be honest.
I am too. I'll never have that, which is very, very sad. I had it like one time when I was in high school. Like it was like for a semester, and then everyone just told me to shave it off because they said I look weird. So, and then ever since then, it's just been losing little by little. So, I did it to myself, Zeke. I truly did. I'm pumped for these games for the same reason that Sundown is. Okay, Torch Aim. You definitely don't have that fire aim you thought you had. So we're on board now with Hero and Merc Chaso, or Merc Chase. But I'm always excited to talk about Asia because in competitive gaming, right, like this region is so dominant across a variety of titles. And I've worked what a shot there onto Fichka. And that's why you just can't sleep on this region. You simply cannot, because everyone always does that. They're like, but in, they play a lot of, like the battle arena type games. They play a lot of strategy games. They don't really play like games that are like action games that require you to have aim and stuff. No, that is factually untrue. They are good at pretty much anything, and if you sleep on them, it's your own dang fault when they're stunting on you and picking up nothing but dubs. So trust, this is I'm pumped to see how these players play at the Fortnite World Cup final, because that is really going to be that test, right? That's going to really give us that indication. It's like, where is the skill level of these players when it comes down to that international competition?
And I think that's a good point because that's probably how they're feeling too. They want to see how they square up against people across the way, right? You want to say, all right, I want to face off against someone like Vivid we saw back in Summer Skirmish. Like, yeah, let's go toe to toe with this guy. I want to test my mettle, see what's up. And I think Cam made a fantastic point that the spirit of this broadcast is really just to highlight as many people, as many regions. Fortnite is a global game, and we want to make sure everyone has that moment where they can say, like, look, check this awesome play I did. Here it is. These guys talked about it. And okay. Hero is being the hero that we need and deserve right now. He is not missing shots. He's going to try and get Merc Chase up.
Oh, and his buddy has to get in there.
It's okay. Yep. Come on, friend. Come inside.
Yeah. Come here, buddy. Come here.
He's already started the revive, so this is fine. Everything's going to be okay. And everyone's just kind of like letting this happen? What's going on? Did they just forget? They down to player?
Yeah, well, I believe really like, I think there was just a concern about like where they needed to be at that moment, right? Some players, which I don't necessarily agree with. I mean, if you have that opportunity, like clean it up, get that siphon, pick up that HP, right? Because it is so critical in these late games. But hey, right, these things kind of happen. But now it's FaxFox and Banny. And FaxFox already going to New York City, already qualifying for the Fortnite World Cup. But this is one of the reasons why FaxFox might be one of the players that not only qualifies for solos, but also for duos. The consistency, so nasty. I can't believe managed to live through that one. That is, the trap was down, and one would have thought that trap would have been the doom there of FaxFox. But instead, FaxFox is going to keep trucking on in this game and owning the high ground. But look at all the activity down low, Zeke. Lots of players scrambling to just get more points in the placement category.
That's right, man. Don't forget, guys. In top 5, we see another set of placement points. Sasakui there going down, unfortunately. So these guys need to be careful, right? They want to get those very vital points for hitting top 5 as a duo. We see these players kind of rotating around. Another player goes down. It looks like it was Flowzy's teammate, Noel.
Noel will be down. No, I don't know.
You gotta leave him. You gotta leave him. You're gonna take way too much damage. Yeah. That's a tough spot to be in. Oh my God, from up top.
Jumps right into the box of Flowzy, but Flowzy manages to stay alive. 51 HP though. Will have 4 minis. Has to pop at least 1 or 2 of those minis before he can get back into the action. Someone's gonna try to grab him with the minigun. That's Abyss's bread, and he's looking to get that bread. Flowzy wrecks him, destroys him, gets the HP, and then more players are gonna land right in front of him. That was gonna be Bread's teammate Pixel, who goes down. Flowzy still in this one, 56 HP. Can he follow up with another one? Get up to 100 HP and then start to build up on those shields. We'll continue to have the minis. 3 minis left, and we're now down to a 1v1v1 in this duos matchup. FaxFox had that upper ground, drops down low, manages to pick up one there onto Tabata, but this is going to be a 1v1 between Flowzy and FaxFox. FaxFox is going to be up above, looking to utilize that high ground to pop the mini. Same thing for Flowzy. Flowzy needs to pop a mini himself so he can get competitive in this fight here. Gonna have 100 HP basically between the shields and the regular green HP.
Oh, we didn't know he was.
Drop down in front of him. 12 HP for Flowzy, but FaxFox picks up the victory royale, and that was gonna be nasty with the blue pump to secure it. That was 13 eliminations total for the top boys.
My gosh, man. FaxFox, not only is it in his name, he's showing us why he's sitting there at the top of the leaderboard, right? Absolutely consistent player, dominating left and right. I would be surprised, just like Cam said kind of earlier on the broadcast, if these guys, if they're not in World Cup Finals, I don't know what's going on, man. These guys, keep an eye on them.
FaxFox is already there. He's already there. True. We got another top player in this one, Include, with 4 eliminations. That will be your current elimination leader.
And it's another top boy, by the way.
I had mentioned that. I said it was another top guy.
Oh, I didn't. I'm sorry.
Maybe if you were on top of it.
Okay.
Where's Pookie? Where's Pookie when I need this? I'm telling you, man, my punk game's too good right now. I'm feeling fantastic. And what is it about here, right? These are the qualifiers, Zeke. Players are going to be playing to get into Sunday's games. 1 spot in the Asia region, Oceania, Brazil, as well as NA West. 1 spot only will be available to these players here. So a lot of pressure and thousands of players looking to punch their ticket to New York City.
You know, it is going to be the gauntlet, to say in the least. You kind of talked about a one spot, man. So the key thing to note here is that even if you don't make it in, say, week 2, try again in week 4 with your duo, in week 6, week 8, etc. You have a lot of opportunities to come back, learn from any mistakes you may have made, just level up your gameplay, right? Like, just take a step back and say, what did we do wrong? What can we do better? Let's go back in and slay. Now we see here, though, about to hit top 15, another set of placement points on the table. 29 players still, though, and it's already pretty claustrophobic right now.
This is really smart, though, from May and Relight. They are taking all of the real estate down low and creating that tunnel. So when players start to move in their direction, they'll just be able to edit, peek, take a shot, go back into safety, just continuously kind of harass everyone that tries to cross around them, because they have the top, they also have all the walls, brick and metal. So a decent strategy here, something you want to do. Also recycle the mats. So in this instance, just pushing out, utilizing the brick, and then going back and picking up more brick. So this way, none of the free materials that you've managed to pick up off of those eliminations, which they have 5 right now, are not going to waste and just standing there. You want to take full advantage of every single material there.
Yeah, we see a player all the way out in the storm, made a late rotation. Unfortunately, looks like SVG_T is going down. Back to the lobby for you, my friend. Unfortunately, May here is looking to find one, catches someone on that late rotate. This kid is very, very nice. I like this. I love the usage of the slurp there. We even have the redeploy. So he can build as high as he wants, right? May can just do whatever their heart desires. But we see a player go up with that launch. Look at these guys scramble right now, GB. They also are on that high ground tarp. There's only Gory who's down low.
Yeah, and looking for the high ground too, like who else is maintaining that position? I think it was going to be the CWZ guys, Jiro, but Jiro is out of this one. Still on board with May. And his teammate, I'm not quite sure. I think his teammate was eliminated. No, his teammate is still going to be in the action. I see it at the top right of the screen. But they're split up, which I don't feel very... I'm not that confident with that, right? I'd much rather prefer them to be next to each other. But May is going to find one in front of him. That's going to be white damage, which is an opportunity to be able to push. Goes right outside. And if he siphons, he'll just go right back to 100. But a player's going to challenge him outside. And that was Include, the elimination leader. He's got to clean up these picks here. Include's going to go down. That's going to save him for the time being. And May knew that. Instead of going in and thirsting for that elimination, just wait till the storm claims its victim. But May, unfortunately, will go down. Relight will still be alive for his team, for this duo. They have 10 eliminations. Can Relight be the savior for them to pick up this victory royale? But just as I say that, look who is up top. Fox and Banny owning the high ground with the splodes, with all the weapons necessary. It's almost as if it's like deja vu, Zeke.
That's right, man. We're going to see these guys quite a bit here in these games, but Hyper here is trying to do everything he can to keep himself safe in the 1x1. Look at all the players alive. It's a 2v1. It's basically a free-for-all except one duel remaining right now, and Wolfie Hyper is super low. If he finds a nice Elim, I take it all back to Siphon. This is what you talked about earlier, GB. This is make or break, right? Picking up a Siphon is so key because it's going to give you that 50 HP. And if you're topped off at 100, it's going to convert to shield.
Has no builds to be able to get this. Can he pick up this player here? But it won't matter. Fox and Banny will take another one. And a reminder for everyone, we're looking at the games from Fox and Banny, how they got to the point where they're number 1 in the leaderboard. That's exactly how they did it. Dominating performance from Fox and Banny. But for now, we're going to go back to the studio with Sundown to get some updates.
Thank you so much, Zeke and Golden Boy, and just absolutely incredible coming out from Fox and Banny. 8 points clear of second place. That's a ton of momentum going into tomorrow, where there's only one spot up for grabs. So Oceania, Asia, Brazil, and NA West, there's only a singular spot up for grabs. So the top duo from each one of the regions from that Sunday. Today, it's all about the top 1,500 duos trying to go through. So we're going to continue rolling our coverage, catching games from every single one of the regions. So we're going to jump on in now into the Brazil matches again with Zeke and Golden Boy.
I like the international flair. You know, I like covering these games because these are faces that we will be seeing in the Fortnite World Cup.
I'm sorry. Are we already in double digits? I'm sorry. Can we redo this? What is going on right now?
Dekouts. He is, and I love one great name too. I just want to say that this is clinical. 16 eliminations in Brazil.
Wow. All right. So apparently DK outs and blackouts. Sorry. DK outs and blackouts. They're already on 16 eliminations together. These guys are just destroying this lobby. What is going on? Take a look at their loadout. They've got the utility. They've got the dynamite. They've got golds across the board. They're shining bright like diamonds. There's a player going down right there, a confirm as well. Okay, gentlemen. All right.
I know you're a fan of that song. I'm very happy about it. It's a good song.
Yeah, pretty. I'm a fan. You know, I dabble.
You dabble.
I dabble.
You dabble in the music of the youth of America.
Oh, you know, I'll use that word very loosely. I'm so old.
Oh, well, one shot. Goodbye. Try again, my friend. And DK and Blackouts are just slaying out this lobby. 18 eliminations. I don't know if you noticed that whole fight there, but DK was hanging out by this structure. And meanwhile, Blackout just pushed. He pushed those two players by himself with the support of his teammate, of course, but had the authority to do so. And there was just nothing they could do. Absolutely nothing they could do. This is their server. They own this. They're the kings.
So really quickly, let's touch on that a little bit, right? Because you brought up something funny, which is if you were playing duos, you want them to be close, right? That's your comfort zone.
You just want to have vision of your teammate. It goes across the board no matter what team game you're playing. You just want to have vision of your teammate and know where they are. And yeah, obviously, comms and whatnot is very important to have, and all these players have that in spades. But having the ability to just go and immediately, just like we're seeing right now, Blackout. DK knew that he was in a bit of a pickle, so Blackout goes right up top to just support. And then Blackout says, well, I don't need to own this entire high ground. Let me just get back to my squad member. Let me go down here because if we need to bounce out, I have that rift to go and we can get ourselves out of this tough fight. That is what I want to see. I just want to see players just work together, stick together, because that, you just got to hold hands sometimes. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, see, that's the thing, man. Blackouts and DK, they're telling us why.
They're destroying the structure.
Yeah, first of all, they're destroying the structure. Second of all, they are just putting on a clinic even while being separated, right?
Oh, my sub. Where's this team? There was another guy up there.
Well, maybe he's still falling. Maybe he has glide redeploy. Something else might have happened. A rift. But the RPG going to drop that player a nice 26.
That's
nothing follow. That is. Okay. I thought he was going to mid-air rift and not take fall damage. I was going to be like, all right, bro. You're on next level right now. These 300 IQ plays are too much for my little brain to handle right now. Listen, I'm honest with my Fortnite fam, all right? I'm going to be honest and upfront with you guys, all right?
And I think everyone appreciates that about you. He's going to destroy that structure, too, and force that player down. That player has to have redeploy or something.
So high. Another player gets lasered there for 36. A nice ping there in 12. Another follow-up. This guy's got, that's it. Colonel is down.
He popped him. Because... like popcorn?
Popcorn. I was going chicken, but here we go.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's actually not that bad. Oh, because he was okay. That's fair. I messed that one up, man. I could have made that one way better, and I just totally flubbed it. It's all good though, baby. Well, look here. Blackouts and DK are owning this. They have full control. This is, even though DK is out of this, it is still going to be a nasty lobby. I think Rakaz just picked up 3 of his own, so that was off screen, and maybe Rakaz could be a force at the end of this one. I'm trying to see, where are you? I do not see him right now. Maybe on the high ground?
DK?
Yeah, probably
I believe he is up top.
No, that's Rastro, so okay. Blackout's going to have that ultimate high ground up above.
So DK's actually been eliminated.
Yeah, no, I did call on that one. DK is out of this, but Blackout very much in this game with 100-100. And that player has to total up, has to defend, but the Storm's going to be right there. And players can gatekeep. They can force those players to have to just push on out because they know that they're going to have them dead to rights at that moment in time.
Oh, God. The Rocket's already finding Rastro, GB. Listen, Blackouts is ready to try and black out everyone else, all right? He's got all the tools.
The game is too strong.
We're trying. We got to make sure Pookie Spirit stays alive. A nice 15 there in chip damage. You like to see it. And now Blackout's just maintaining high ground, man.
Even though he's by himself and there are a lot of players down low, Blackout's just not being challenged. right, at all. He's basically could just have free reign to do whatever he wants, owns all of the floors to be able to edit everything here, gets that reload down. There's going to be 4 players left, and that will be 4 duos. And Foster has to get out of that baller because at this point, you just want to go for it. Oh, my word! Just throws that rocket down and obliterates the players down low. But it's YouTube the King versus Blackout, and Blackout has been putting on a banger of a game thus far. Is it going to be enough, though? It will be. Goodbye. Blackout picks up the victory royale, and while the elimination counter was not ticking up, given how many elims were picked up, I wouldn't be shocked if Blackout also got around to the double digits, maybe 9 or 10 elims. That was just a disgusting game.
I mean, listen, man, we still have more games to get in. I need you to keep in tip-top because we're already moving on. There's more action to be had across the way. Let's hop into this game. We've got Dark Angel and Mandalo up here as well. Dark Angel. I can't read. I can't. Oh, yeah.
It's a good show.
Barboisa.
Barboisa. Or Barboy SA.
Not to
it
be
could be Barboy SA.
Not to be confused with Barbosa. Barboisa.
But, because, sometimes players put their region, so it could be Barboy SA or. Oh, Mandalo. What a shot there with that heavy purple snipe. Beaming from the distance.
All right. I'm at a loss for words. So I'm just gonna let you take over for a little bit because
physically uncomfortable. I understand. See, it happened to me a lot last week where I just didn't know what to do with my hands. Well, there's Barboisa. So I'm now going to assume that it is Barboisa and Zoity Boy, and they're gonna go whoop up above. There's also a scuffle going on down low there. Saw 4 players getting knocked out within that whole engagement. So goodbye. But Zoity Boy and Barboisa continue on in this game. And we have a interesting situation here. 35 players left, 22 duos remaining in this lobby. And Zoity and Barboisa don't have that ultimate high ground. They see that player right there, and it's smart, utilizing the stinks. That's what you mentioned before, Zeke. It's a great zoning tool, forcing players out of a comfort position there. Zoity's going to push in. Goodbye, outplayed by LD. LD outplayed themselves there, clearly. And the more stinks now continuing to go on in. If it can connect with anybody, this is all territory that will be owned by the boys.
Man, and this is kind of going back to how they're controlling the zone, right? Even if you throw a stinker out and you don't get damage takes, no one's there. And on top of that, if someone has to walk through, they're going to take damage. So this is just like a 2-for-1 special on stink grenades. You smell them, you deal them. They got smelled, they got dealt. It's a win-win, all right? I love the stinks. Really great weapons overall. But nice. Okay, Code is not Eagle. I repeat, Code not Eagle is down. He is down.
The Eagle has landed right back into the lobby. I see, yeah.
I got it.
Thanks, man. It means a lot. A lot of builds as well for Zoity and Barboisa. They have just wall. They own that wall. Goodbye, Rote-V. And that was, Rote-V was just like, wait, do I have it? Do I not have it? And Zoity was kind of just playing with his food there for a moment, trying to edit out of that one, get the wall back, or get that one back in control, pick up the elimination. That's 9 elims now for the boys. And there's another one, Merca Boy. What is going on? There's a lot of boys in this lobby. It's just weird. As a golden boy, it also makes me just kind of uncomfortable. I'm a grown man calling myself boy.
Well, that's just the job, right? This is the 9 to 5, but
this is the 9 to 5.
Just the 9 to 5. Don't forget, guys, those top 15 is another set of placements. So these guys never mind, we're already there. Placement points for everyone here. That remains in the lobby. That number is very quickly dwindling. Look at the builds. Look at how many people are here. It's claustrophobic. People are just way too close. But Barboisa and Zoity, they're still maintaining that high ground, even after that long rotation.
And with Zoity on that high ground, as you had mentioned, Zeke, the rockets are going to be beautifully utilized, onto their pick there on Roro Vera. More players as well. And that was it. The rocket shot and then destroys the wall as soon as the rocket gets through that. There's no protection that can help you there. There's no defense you can mount. And then just picking up these eliminations, Zeke. This has been disgusting. Some more eliminations start to go on through. They have the high ground. While their mats are a little low, they can just continue to own the upper ground and just rain down shots below, get some of the stragglers, pick up some more eliminations, because each elim is 1 point.
And this is going to be huge for them. They're such in a commanding spot. This is a power position. Sundown talks about this a lot, man. You're up top, no one's contesting. You just have to rain down shots, especially with the RPG. He only has the one rocket, but if he finds elimination along the way, picks up more, he could devastate everyone down on the low ground tarp. Nice cracking there of the ball and try to build them up, because you can see someone's trying to contest for that high ground. They're saying, no, 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 not today, friend.
And oh, that was nice. Okay, so that player had to play some kind of a defensive play there, right, and own that wall quickly, or just try and get out of there, because Zoidy was going to go right after him, hacking away with the harvesting tool, and then gaining possession. The wall replaced, but
there's rockets
Zoidy
on your left.
Another
rockets.
one.
Get the rockets on your left.
Oh, and if they get the rockets, they can continue to own the high ground here. But I don't think that this is necessarily going to be a problem for them, Zeke. Now with the way that they're playing, they've just dominated every area of this territory.
Oh my God!
In front of them, that's gonna. Oh, and Zoidy's gonna go down. But Barboisa's there for the pickup, and that's 14 eliminations, 7 for Barboisa. The last person left alive is going to be Lion Nacho by himself. Can Lion Nacho do this? 0 eliminations against Barboisa and Zoidy, who have been putting it together in this lobby. 66 builds will be at the low ground, but Barboisa, wisely enough, resetting the dynamite play coming in, and it's going to be on a hill too. Does it destroy the structure? Oh, Barboisa's still going to be able to maintain it. I like to play the go outside. Went outside and then domed Barboisa right in the kisser for the victory royale. Barboisa not expecting that one. Despite not getting the victory royale, though, Zoidy and Barboisa have to be happy with that game. That was a dominating run that they had there.
That was so clinical. Shout outs to both those players. What an incredible end game situation there. But now we keep going, because we're going to be back on deck with DK outs and blackouts. DK already has 10 eliminations. I feel like, are we just hopping into the same game? Is that what we're just doing? Because
so it feels like.
We've already seen this. This was a game ago, and they have these many eliminations.
I think it was blackouts last time.
Had 10 eliminations. It was reversed.
Yeah. Wow, some great games in the Brazil region. If you're just joining us, these are games that I believe are going on right now. The region is currently playing. They kind of overlap a little bit with NAE, so we're going to get some good games here. We did a look in earlier on with Oceania and Asia. So me and your boy Zeke here covering a lot of the international flair for the Fortnite World Cup.
And look, man, there's a lot of names. Just like you said, don't sleep on anybody, because these guys are just as good as anyone else. I promise you that. So if you're new to Fortnite, you want to level up your gameplay, watch everyone. Look, pick a player and just tune in, see what they're doing, see how they can help you level up. And 2, if you're like, hey, I've never heard of Mystic, just go give him a follow on Twitter. If he's got a YouTube channel or a Twitch stream, just tune in. These guys are all phenomenal, and they're all trying to make their way and punch their ticket to the World Cup Finals in New York City. So let's hop in with Master and see what's going on.
That was the best part for me about the Lux Cup, and you know, apropos skin choice here, but that was definitely one of my favorite parts of it. Highlighting some of these players. I've had a blast, Zeke, talking to a lot of the community, getting to know them very well, and going on Reddit, going on Twitter, and talking to all the players. It's actually been pretty dope.
Yeah, man. Always want to make sure that you. Oh wait, I'm sorry.
Dr. Lupo here. The best part of any cast is Golden Boy and Zeke. Smile.
There you go.
Dr. Lupo.
These are real facts.
It's Lupo, man. It's Lupo, man.
That's how you know we're all friends here. You know, we like to just do silly
We all
things.
hold hands, except when Courage said I wasn't good looking, and that one hurt. Thank you.
Dr. Lupo just said you are beautiful, and I
Even though Courage, I'm shocked, because I've known Courage for years, and I've never seen him this tall. So it's just been... It's crazy. It's crazy. He's like 6'2" right now.
Jim, man.
And absolutely jacked. Jack is jacked.
Jack Dunlop. You know who else is jacked? You know who else is jacked right now is this lobby, because it is full of great players. Left and right, 23 left, so that means we hit first round of placement points and 15 is the next. Let's see what's going on here with a Gaunellis, who's got only one elimination.
Okay, I was about to say.
No, the loadout.
Gaunellis, so just so everyone knows, right, there is some at times some graphical issues that will come up with the spectating. It's continuing to be iterated and worked on week in and week out. But I thought it was absolutely hilarious that we went into Gaunellis' POV and all that this person had was a green AR.
Listen,
that's it.
If that's all you need to win.
Oh, the community launch pad, Monster, I got you covered, buddy.
Community launch pads, man. Keep an eye out for those. Anytime you hear that sound, it's everyone knows, like, there's a launch pad somewhere. I need to get over there. Please, not like this. Not in the box. What's in the box? It's aggro. He is going down, and this could mean, is that another fish? Is that a fish that's on the other side of the wall? I hope we'll find out. Okay, looks like they just bailed. They're like, you know what? You got that elimination. Good. I'm just gonna go up.
That was like 8 players on one launch pad. Surely they all thought that it was a mad dash to just land. That's all that was. Just land and get up there. So the ISG guys, Gaunellis and Senti will still be in this game here. And Jonel 2.0, looking like a 1.0 there. Play from him will get picked off wide out in the open. 4 eliminations currently for the ISG team.
I love that they're also changing elevation, right? They're also coming down because you could stay up top and maintain the highest of the high. But if something goes down and someone cracks your builds, you're going to fall quite the ways and get back to the lobby.
I think the other reason, too, is that Master was there challenging them, so they just regrouped down low. Senti, though, Mystic's even higher than that. So Mystic has the ultimate high ground. And they have 12 eliminations. The player's going to try and jump on them. Will Mystic be able to defend this one? And players continuing to just to glide down will get picked off at this point in the game if they're not careful. They have to be very nimble with their movement. They could be sitting ducks. You're literally sitting ducks at that point, right?
Yeah.
You're just holding the glider and you're like, hey guys, here I am.
Please take shots.
Just go for it. So I think that Mystic and Master forcing ISG off of the high ground, beautifully done.
Absolutely. They're just playing the objective, right? The objective is how can we keep high ground and how can we force everyone down below us into the most uncomfortable positions? Because right now that's what you see. That's what's happening, right? A lot of these guys, there's someone down there that's not even building. They have nothing left to build. It's actually Gaunellis, who we saw up top, who is keeping the high ground, is now on the lowest. The low gets cracked.
And La Manuela goes down and takes out Gaunellis, who's going to be on the knees, but it will be Manuela who has to go back to the lobby. So Gaunellis is down but not out. But shortly will be out of the game because you just can't pick someone up at this point in time. And the last player now will be Senti, but Master and Mystic know you push because you can't lose. If they lose this one, it would be shocking, especially with the game that they have had so far. Mystic putting the pressure there onto that final player, Senti. Senti goes outside of the storm. Can Senti make a miracle play? But it's not going to happen as Mystic and Master own this lobby today.
Man, so that's what I was kind of talking about, is kind of forcing players down below you into uncomfortable positions. You saw they forced out that ISG player, and it was to a point where they didn't even know, like, I have to kind of go up this hill now. It didn't work out in your favor because they controlled that end game. They decided what that player was doing, and it worked out.
Second, they were able to get that high ground. And don't get me wrong, high ground doesn't always dictate that you're going to win the game.
Totally.
But the way that they force ISG off of that territory, they then owned it. They had full reign of that whole area to just do what they want to do. We all have the ISG guys in the lobby once again. We also have Ninguero and Magic Boy.
Another boy. Another boy, and there's a format refresh on the right side of the screen. In case you're tuning in, hope you've had an awesome Saturday. Welcome to the Fortnite stream. I'm Zeke. This is GB. We got a bunch of other crew here as well, casting the online open qualifiers. This is week 2, duos format, and you're in for a treat. We're hopping in from circles 4 and 5 on back-to-back, rapid fire action all the time.
Game after game after game.
After game.
You want a little fun fact?
Yeah.
Zeke,
let me hear it.
One of my first gamer tags was Magic Man.
Whoa.
That's true.
Magic Man.
Magic Man, yes.
But then you went to Golden Boy.
Well, no, it was Golden Boy. But then I was like, well, I'm an adult, and I should change my name. And then I saw Talladega Nights, and I was like, oh, El Diablo and the Magic Man.
Yeah.
And I thought Magic Man would be great. But then I started to do more research and realized maybe that wouldn't be a good name.
Did you tell?
Yeah, so, but you know what? Magic Boy, do you, boo. Do you. No one's going to judge.
It's okay.
Except me.
I like Golden Boy anyway.
Thanks, man.
I
like how
back.
every broadcast I do for Fortnite, I always end up talking about
A crazy backstory?
Like crazy, or like something like back in the day, or just like or just my name in general.
There you go.
Just find a way. I need the kids to know. You know, okay, there you go. So Guanellis, oh man, that is rough there for Guanellis, who just got caught there. So the play that was being made by Eds was to use that heavy sniper to burst through that wall, destroy the wall instantly, get in, and then pop them in the face with that blue pump. Now, they were able to defend, but at that exact moment, that edit went down, and still Eds got exactly what Eds wanted. It just didn't go the way that he would have wanted. It didn't go like exactly according to plan, I should say, rather than didn't go the way he wanted. Because what he wanted was the elimination, and he got just that.
Yeah, absolutely. Very well executed by him. And again, you're going to see a lot of that happening. Always keep an eye. If someone has a heavy sniper, they're going to look to do one of two things. Either really long range picks, actually three things rather. If you're working with a duo, you can crack a wall and send an RPG in, even trade shots, or you're just going to walk point blank that wall, because it destroys built structures. Basically one shot, right? So you're gonna walk up, shoot the wall, it goes out, and you're saying, hello, friends, I would like to enter your abode.
Hello, do you have sugar? I am your neighbor.
Please allow me sugar, which is your entire loadout, thank you.
Yes, that is, give me the sweetness. So Eds and Barsani continue to own the lobby here. And they're going to be in that high ground position. We've seen players dominate here in the past. This will be no different. Given how these rotations are working out, they just have to be careful, keep their backs against the storm, but make sure that they're building out, continuing to carpet the high ground and own all of this and take the shots where they need to, pick up those eliminations. And just as I say that, right, Kyoto does go down, which gives Eds that HP to get back into this one.
Man, he is on just a spree right now, taking down players left and right. We see someone try to go up and challenge, but they're going to get cracked quite a bit, being chipped all the way down into critical, which is super, super rough. But now, look, players are down below finally saying, look, we want you guys off the high ground, and they're tarping correctly. Before we saw with just the floor, now they're doing with the roof, the pyramid, and the floor, right?
But Eds doesn't have a lot of resources here. 46 builds, but that can go away very quickly when you're doubling up, when you're putting floor and pyramid, floor and pyramid. That goes away rapidly. And oh, wait a minute.
It's coming down.
Actually, the builds ends up getting crushed, so they still hold their high ground, but all those resources, everything's going to go away. Now they just need to hold this down. Don't get too crazy. Play for the picks, find who's going to be exposed, and if you find a pesky baller going about, just punish that player there. Matsu goes down, and the baller's going to be out of here. Just as I said, look for the picks, just play it intelligently, and victory will come your way. And Eds and Barsoni, very well done from them thus far. They own all of the high ground.
A lot of these players are going to be down below trying to scramble. They're in a 1v1, v2 situation, right? Only 5 players remaining. And Eds and his duo partner, Barsoni, they are in commanding spot. They have everything.
They have the advantage because they are a duo going up against a bunch of solo players here. So this, if you want to take the odds, it has to go for Barsoni and Eds. Barsoni does need to be careful, but Eds, with those rockets, continues to punish down low. Players think that they're safe. We'll be able to build out. This burns through it, and toward the end of the game here, you're going to start to feel that hurt. You're going to start to lose that, and there you go. The victory royale. Very, very well done. Just a simple win there for Eds and Barsoni. Throw down the rockets, rocket after rocket after rocket. They weren't being challenged. They can continue to reload safely, and there you have it. Victory royale.
Yeah, textbook went from them. We kind of saw there. He started, once we clued into him, 6 rockets, right? You just keep firing over and over. Eventually, you're going to exhaust the enemy's resources. Maybe you even get it in on an interesting angle, crack their shields. We saw 120 go through on that player. So it's just about, closing out the game, and they did it very well. Textbook from them, but I believe we have one game left to go on into. But dude, these games have been crazy.
Yeah, some great games from all the regions. The international competition in Fortnite is certainly something that we need to continue to keep a close eye on. If you are sleeping on them, well, that's your own fault. You shouldn't be doing that. These players are here to play. This is the Fortnite World Cup. There's a lot of money on the line. What, $30 million for the New York City final? That's a lot of cash. Lives will be changed at that event. And these players in the international scene, they have the capability to do that, Zeke.
Yeah, and I mean, this is, again, kind of cluing into their gameplay. This is what they want, right? They want people to say, look, pay attention to us, guys. Don't sleep on us. We know what we're doing, and we're coming to try and face off against you, go head-to-head for that $30 million prize pool. But it's time to go into the next game, ladies and gentlemen. We see there Abrat-Kadab. Wait, well, I'm sorry.
Abra-Tabaka.
Abra-Tagapa.
Abra-Tagapa. You gotta say it. You gotta abra. You gotta roll the R. Roll the R.
That was a car.
That's a place, by the way.
All right. Yeah. Oh, I know. Oh, you believe me. I am also Hispanic, so I understand. Let's take cluing here, and we're just going to call him Abra to just keep it plain and simple.
What?
This is what you get when you tune in with Zeke and GB. All right, you get A to Z comedy. That's trademark LLC.
Wow. Well,
listen,
like
this is on the spot. I don't know what the heck is wrong with me. I'm on it today.
You keep rhyming, dude. You know, like you keep on going. This is impressive.
Oh, man. I hope to see Abra keep on going because he's already got 3 limbs by himself. 20 top to okay, 0 trees. That was a really nice knock at 50 meters there. It looks like people are going to clue in. They're like, hold on, this guy's by himself trying to make this rotation. Let's see if we can crack him down. 47 HP. If someone breathes on him, okay, never mind. Siphon. The community launch pad.
Community launch pad, right there. It's available to you, free of charge. You know, someone should really be there to take a toll.
Would you like to use this? That'll be 1 gold, please. And they're like, all right, here's my gold AR. And I'm like, perfect, thank you. The launch pad in.
Thank you so much.
That'll be 50 materials. All right, well.
Imagine that actually would be really hilarious there. You got Nacho along with Kirby here, 4 eliminations now, and the build situation is not the best at this point in the game. So Nacho and Kirby have to recycle other players' builds. They need to be cautious on their rotations, catch players that are also like pushing out and like depending on where this goes. So this is going to be a far run for them. If they do find a community launch pad, like take advantage of that. That's white damage on that player too. This could be resources that they can farm off of this guy essentially, because he's going to be super weak and just playing defense, but burning through said resources that are very vital for them here.
Okay. You don't want the ball. Never mind. There's a player there playing peekaboo right now at a 110. Pennywise is going down, and just like you talked about, man, raining down those resources from the heavens up above, and now they've got a little bit more to work with. But keep in mind, look where we're going. All right, we're going from inside the divot out. This is a gigantic wall that exists. You can't just like build up. There's also trees in the way, so these players have to be mindful of how they're rotating. We see a lot. They're already trying to close in on this community jump pad. That's when we saw all those players build up to the high ground.
Yep.
No one found it though. It all worked out in the end. No community jump pad, no toll required.
Yeah, but look, Kirby gets tagged up big time, and he ends up dropping down low. Nacho's going to find one right in front of him. Does he secure the elimination? That's Abra Tabaka who goes down. And some more resources maybe? No, we'll only have a few left here. 20 HP. Might get caught out, and there you have it. Nacho goes down. Kirby's still in this one. We did lose track of him for a moment. There's Kirby, still going to be feeling the effects of that rotation. 12 players left, 7 duos remain.
But see how we've already cut down the lobby by half. That's what I'm talking about, man. That rotation is tough to make. We see players going down left and right, though. So sad. He's going to find a nice 70 on lasers, lasering down that player. Another one coming down with the glider redeploy. A nice 13, GB.
Yeah, this is going to be the last few players left in the lobby here, and it's So Sad and Shino who are the last duo remaining. 2 single players are going to stand tall. Can they win it? Can they win the 1v1, v2, or will it go to this duo of Sad and Shino? Shino and Sad coordinating very nicely, but Shino is going to go down. That should be the follow-up and the victory royale. On to Anonymous Aim is eliminated. Bye-bye. And the dub goes to them right at that scramble toward the end. A lot of players were exposed outside, getting caught there from the shots on the high ground from Sad. That was a good fight toward the end there, and a good look in for the Brazilian region as well as OCE and Asia. For now, we're heading it back over to Sundown.
Thank you so much, Golden Boy and Zeke. And wow, some incredible performances coming out of the Brazilian region. We know South America likes to turn up, and I want to start this little section by taking a look at one of the better performances and breaking down a little bit of what made W7M's blackouts and DKouts so incredibly successful. Now, W7M, the Bulls, and they showed that they were absolute bulls in this circumstance here, able to just run the lobby. So one thing I want to note, look at his positioning here on the high ground, able to utilize it, putting shots down, and now watch right here. Just as he's able to get one single RPG, he looks back, drops it down, and that whole structure is coming down. The entire thing, he's able to look back, does get a knock, but from here on out, blackouts and DKouts do not lose the high ground. They will run it for the rest of the lobby up until the final fight, and it puts them in such a powerful position that even with DKouts being eliminated from the lobby, you see blackouts is just raining down. Assault rifle shot after RPG shot after assault rifle shot, not giving up the pressure and continuing to roll through. So despite this being a duos competition, the one player on the high ground able to just continually roll this through and effectively turn it into a solos competition, taking out player after player. And then when the final duo ends up going down in just a little bit here, it's all the way out. 7 players remaining, and Blackouts has now turned this into a position where, despite him dropping down now, he's still on that high ground. Every other player had to have rotated through him. Now, when he does end up getting knocked down, you can see here on the wide, he's still able to put pressure back on the players rotating through the circle, and you can see him edits the door out, gets back through his cone, edits a wall, and then finds an angle to make sure he gets the shot out, so the storm then ticks him over. Incredibly well done from him there, and it was a great look into the Brazilian region. Now, another region we need to pay attention to is Europe. The results have been in. This is just the semifinals portion of the competition. So the qualifying spots, all 4 of them, are up for grabs tomorrow. But one thing to highlight with Europe, an incredibly difficult and competitive region. It took 58 points in order to make the Sunday qualifier for a chance to qualify, but Fnatic Motor and VHV Verox taking away the top spot. 3 victorials, 63 eliminations. 63 eliminations while winning 3 matches. That's absurd. 5 points clear of Sky and Vatu of the stream, who we've seen a ton of as well. Absolute competitive veterans. You have Ketzer and Tripper rounding out the top 3 with Cheers and Lion just behind them. And I mean, still though, the spread for that 4th spot, 92 to 90 points in the 10th place. And again, so many great names on there. You have Airwalks and Nikov, who won 4 of their first 6 matches. Just absolutely incredible. These are some of the guys to keep an eye on for the qualifiers going through. But let's take a look at overall players to watch for the finals tomorrow. Everyone trying to find a way to get to that Fortnite World Cup Finals stage in New York City on July 26th to the 28th. I mean, it's been absolutely incredible. But here are the overall region times. We just saw Oceania and Asia wrap up. Europe has finished its queue. We just got the results. We hopped into a little bit of Brazil right there. After this little break we have coming up, we'll have NA East and NA West. So don't go anywhere. Still tons of matches, tons of coverage, how these guys are scoring points going through. This is the duos format as well, so it will be 3 points going through to 6th to 25th. 6th to 15th grants you an additional 2. 2nd through 5th grants you 2 more. The victory route is 3. So it's 10 cumulative points going through for placements, and each elimination is also a point. So that's how the players are going through and gaining their points. But what are they all playing for? Don't forget, it is $1 million a week. That's spread out across all of the different regions, all 6 major of them. So even if you aren't getting one of those qualifying spots, if you are towards the top portion of that, we want to reward your time, we want to reward your input and recognize you as one of the best players. You will get a little bit of that portion going through, but ultimately the players are really fighting for those qualifying spots. We talk about how you have to be the absolute best of the best. You see Oceania and Asia, 1 spot up for grabs each. 4 spots coming out from Europe, 1 in Brazil, 3 in NA East, and 3 in NA West. You can also see the breakdown for the other weeks going through. And I mean, we've seen some incredible players already qualify through to the solos, but the duos competition is going to be just that much harder.
We teleported.
Oh, that was a great teleportation. I'm incredibly impressed. I mean, you could see their skills getting over here.
Oh, was there other people that were here as well?
Wait, let me use my magic
sorry,
summoning device.
Jack, don't hurt me. Jack, don't hurt me. Jack, don't hurt me. I'm sorry.
Dude,
Jack.
I was eating chicken.
He is so tall. You see this? I am so short in comparison to guys. Look how massive
6'5". It's crazy.
Wow, it's all the time in the gym. It's got to be going through. But don't go anywhere. We have NA East and NA West after this.
Jack.
We're going on a quick 30-minute break, but still tons
don't give him that
of Fortnite action coming your way.
That teriyaki chicken.
Jump on and drop in. It's time to kick off the Fortnite World Cup competition. From April 13th to June 16th, we'll be running Fortnite World Cup Online Opens, where you can qualify to compete for your chance at a piece of the $30 million prize pool. But how will these work, you ask? Each week will alternate back and forth between solos and duos competition, qualifying from each server region in Oceania, Asia, Europe, Brazil, NA East, and NA West. To find specifics for your server region, go to Fortnite.com/World Cup. To play in the online opens, you'll need to compete in the new Arena mode, an always-on form of competition where players can rank up tiers and leagues. It all starts in the Open League, and when players earn 125 points, they'll advance into Contenders League. After that, you'll need to build your way up to 300 points to unlock Champion League, where the Saturday online open players will be chosen. Then, we'll take the top 3,000 solo players or 1,500 duos from that Saturday's semifinals and advance them to the Sunday finals. Each Sunday, 20 players will rise to the top and qualify to join us in New York for the Fortnite World Cup Finals. Buckle up, because we're officially on the road to the Fortnite World Cup Finals. In just a few months, we'll see the greatest Fortnite players in the world go head-to-head to determine who will take the title of World Cup champion and become part of the global phenomenon that is Fortnite. Hundreds of players will compete on stage in New York City for their chance at Ultimate Battle Royale glory and their piece of $30 million. But let's look back at how we got here. The competition was hot at our first major live event at PAX West, where we held the Summer Skirmish finale. This open format pitted over 900 players against each other, and Morgassi was able to rise out of the masses and take home nearly $250,000.
A life-changing amount of money.
Fall Skirmish came next, where 500 players competed not only in Battle Royale competitions, but build-offs, challenges, bake-offs, and cosplay competitions to win prizes and valued club points. This all came to an insane conclusion at TwitchCon, where Tfue and Cloakzy were able to fend off the competition and win it all.
It's Tfue and Cloakzy!
Finishing off the year, we dove into the Winter Royale when the first ever open online qualifier was hosted, featuring the top 200 players from North America and Europe. In the end, the stream Skype dominated the European qualifier, semifinal, and final to come out on top. And on NA, Nolan beasted his way through the rounds, outperformed the Infinity Blade, and took home the crown. 2019 kicked off with the Secret Skirmish, where Ghost Saf and Rise Ronaldo took the top spot in duos, and the solos competition ended with an unbelievable performance from Ghost Bizzle, who took it all with the most clutch Fortnite finish in competitive history.
Around, shot comes in, a limb for Bizzle, turns on the player above. That's it! He dingled the floor! Bizzle with the victory!
But But this unbelievable action isn't limited to offline events. We've watched competitors get themselves ready for the Fortnite World Cup through their participation in the online tournaments. Fully open qualifiers for all players 13 and up has definitely shaken up the standard. Starting with the Scallywag Cup, familiar players like Saf and Zayt are continuously flaunting their skills, and we